What up, boys and girls? How we doing? How we doing? Where's that one? Let's change this.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
Surprise Sunday. We like.
Welcome in. Thank you, Alec. Appreciate that greatly. Welcome in. I don't know what to say. Morning's not really quite right. Yeah. I think I've broken my schedule. I think I've broken my schedule pretty aggressively. How we doing though, boys and girls? Welcome in. I apologise, my streaming has been a little bit wackadoodle for the last week. But my schedule has completely gone upside down. I'm just a bit cooked at the moment. I'm taking it easy. I've had this weird feeling for the first time in about 4 years. A weird feeling that I've not quite understood what it is. I think it's what most normal people call boredom. I've not wanted to play video games even. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I've not logged on to World of Warcraft for a few days. I haven't even really been playing video games in any way, shape or form. It's a very strange feeling. It doesn't happen to me very often. So I was like, right, well, how do we get rid of boredom? I'll tell you what, let's throw the stream up. Let's see what's going on in WoW for a couple of hours, and let's see what's going on. Good morning, it is for me. Yeah, this is still technically my morning. Although actually, it's not even. It's just coming up to, well, it's 20 to 2 for me, which means if you're in the land of in the land of Brexit, then it's still technically morning, right? Sounds like I'm not the only one who's sick. I don't think I'm like medically sick. I don't think I'm physically sick. I just have a weird feeling I don't get very often. One that I've not really not used to dealing with. But anyway, like I said, I've not even logged on to WoW in a few days. So this is all a bit foreign to me. But let's get some auctions listed, because you know. Let's get back to hello. Oh, haha. A UI might help. Trade School Master? Are you good? Oh, no, not good. Wow, what a start. What a start. Damn. Are we interested in the dragons? I need to look into that. Yeah, Blizzard might have done goofed. This is the first one of the leaks that I'm somewhat willing to believe might actually be a thing. You know, if it's on the official World of Warcraft website, then it's got legs. It's definitely got legs. See, it's got wings and all. But it might be. It might be. We might look into that in a little bit more detail. To my understanding, it was just a. It seems to be accidental reference to the new expansion in relation to like the heroic version of the game and then the epic version of the game. We'll take a little look in a minute. I'm intrigued about that. Right, let's post some stuff. See if I've got do we have the Shadowlands cheat sheet page? That'll do. Where's Wowhead on this? So what were they saying? They were saying, here we go. Dragonflight expansion leaks on the Blizzard website. A change on the official World of Warcraft website may have inadvertently leaked the name of the next expansion. Similar to how Bolvar was leaked prior to the Shadowlands announcement, an update to the official World of Warcraft website may have inadvertently leaked the name of the next expansion. The website's public source code shows strings for Dragonflight, Base, Heroic, and Epic expansion pre-purchases. This is, regardless to what we think about the potential expansion here, what we absolutely know for a fact, is on the 19th of this month when they announce it, it's going to come with a pre-purchase. It's going to come with a pre-purchase. Get your monies ready. Get your tokens bought in advance because the token price will spike. That's certainly going to be the case. Similarly, the code points to a new, though currently inaccessible URL, which would expect it to be a new expansion launch, dragonflight.blizzard.com. Although still unconfirmed, this does not appear to be a late or incomplete April's Fool's joke, though we'll likely get confirmation once Blizzard officially announces on the April the 19th. What we can say is what we previously data mined some encrypted items, which looks like they could be deluxe expansion rewards, a mount, a pet, some additional items with spell effects related to dragons, Drake Mount Emerald. Yes, was the Emerald Drake mount was a mount that was data mined previously. I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm amazed that they've been able to keep it under wraps this long. With the amount of data mining that goes on in this game, it's a minor miracle that stuff doesn't get leaked like super early in development. The fact that they're able to keep it under wraps for this long is quite impressive to me. Just based on, how the internet works. But yeah, Dragonflight Base, Dragonflight Heroic pre-purchase, Dragonflight Epic pre-purchase, upgrades. It could be a code name, it could just be currently a code name, but it's a bit difficult when you're dealing with web design to have code names for stuff, because you need specific URLs. At this point, I think it's pretty safe to say the new expansion is going to be called Dragonflight. So, back to dragons then, hey? Back to dragons. We need a dragon expansion. Not sure how I feel about a whole expansion about dragons. Well, dragons are cool. At least it's not pandas, right? The irony of that was that Mists of Pandaria, in the scale of things, is actually one of the most successful expansions they've ever launched. At least people prefer dragons to pandas. At face value, anyway. I loved Mists of Pandaria. Yeah, see, it got, people were not so impressed with Mists of Pandaria when that was announced because, fluffy pandas. What's this? This is meant to be an RPG fantasy game, but generally, Mists of Pandaria, when you look back at it, was easily one of the best expansions they've launched. I would, because Mists of Pandaria had a bit of everything that was good. It had a little bit of everything that was good. The map, the content map, was quite nice. I don't think there was really a single zone that I actually disliked in Pandaria. I mean, go away, TSM. We'll come back to you. What have you got? Like Jade Forest. I liked Jade Forest the first once or twice I did it. The problem was because it was the starting zone, you just did it to death. You ended up doing the Jade Forest more times than you cared to do, just because it was the starting zone. Karasang Wilds was a bit of a dud. This was a bit meh. Konglai Summits was quite cool. I liked this one. that you had the different elevations and it seemed to all go up into the mountains was quite good. Yeah, I can't say that there was a zone. I think the map generally for Pandaria was pretty good. The scenery was good. I mean, you had some of quite literally the best sort of patch zones ever created. I still hold Timeless Isle pretty high up as, in my opinion, at least one of the best zones they've ever made. Ironic considering just how small it was, like, overall. Timeless Isle was very good. Isle of Giants was a cool little addition. You know, no flying. Even to this day, you still have to run around it. Bunch of dinosaurs. I mean, this was just a straight rip off of Jurassic Park, but it was kind of quite cool. I liked that one. And of course, Isle of Thunder with its state. You know, it was one of the first times we saw Blizzard really double down on the content locking. And, you know, a release schedule for a zone. But the zone was pretty cool. I liked all of the little, liked trying to get to the rares. You had some... Yeah, it was just fun. It was just fun. It almost felt like the game was far less serious back then as well. Probably because it was far less serious. But yeah, Mr. Pandaria overall I think was pretty good. Scenery was great, story was light-hearted and fun. Everything was coherent. Coherence was fun. The content was fun. Activities were interesting. The proving grounds were... Yes, the proving grounds. The proving grounds were good, weren't they? They were up here somewhere. Yeah, the proving grounds were pretty good. Professions were detailed, had intricate mechanics. Now, one thing that I really disliked about the professions was just the acquisition of patterns. You know, one a day, like literally the definition of drip feeding you new content. But the flip side of that was there was no way to like Zerg power it to max. It kind of kept it somewhat fair, even though I would have preferred them not to have done it for everything. Maybe I don't know. Because I mean, even to this day, there's patterns that I still don't possess just because I haven't pressed the button enough times. But generally, professions were quite good. Cooking was fun. You had the what did you have? You had the mini farm business. That gave something for people to do. Had some gold making opportunities. Nice supply of basic materials for people. Yeah. Mr. Pandaria, I think they pretty much did a good job with. The Tiller's Farm, that's the one. The only issue was that they came up with systems that ruined raid gearing in Mr. Pandaria. Was Mr. Pandaria LFR? Was that the first time we had LFR? No. Was it? No. I don't know. Can't remember. The daily quest grind. Oh, right at the very beginning. Yeah, right at the very beginning, you had to do 20 daily quests literally every single day, and people were trying to do it on multiple characters, if I remember. Dragon Soul was the first LFR. You're right, it was. Yes, I remember now. Yeah, I do remember early days of the very first patch of Mr. Pandaria. The daily grind was just madness. I can't even remember why people had to do it. There was a definite reason why raiders were incentivized to do it. I can't really remember what it was, but I remember like they were literally banging out every single daily quest they possibly could. The irony of that now is that people would look at that and they'd think it's casual. But back in the day, it was gross, yeah. Oh, it was Titan Forging and War Forging. Okay, well, they didn't get everything right. But what I did like is the legendary, you know, your legendary, although it was a bit charity, because, you know, everybody had one. The legendary, I think it was Mr. Pandaria the first time they went full on, right, just everybody has a legendary. It felt a bit charity legendaries was the start of Mr. Pandaria, but at least, you know, the story, the campaign was what you worked towards with your legendary as well. It was a good expansion. In hindsight, In hindsight, it was a good expansion. Now imagine if Pandaria was dragons and not pandas. I mean, it'd be a wrath beater at that point, wouldn't it? Yeah, probably. Probably. Hang on, I've already got bags full of stuff. Let's get it posted. Everybody could get a Lego if they worked for it. That was a first, but it required effort. Yeah, you actually had to do stuff. I remember there was some gross, annoying bits. You had to collect like 50 fragments of something from the raid, which, unless you are actually properly raiding, and I mean, like, you know, what back then was probably heroic raiding, you had to do like 10 weeks or something ridiculous of farming LFR or something to get the fragments. Black Prince storyline, yeah, there we go. It's coming back to me now. I remember you had to. There was definite chapters, and there was chapters that would take multiple weeks to complete. So you always felt like on a character you had something to work towards. Mr. Pandaria actually was one of the only expansions. I think I was maining a paladin back then. I think. I don't think I was playing my hunter in Mr. Pandaria. If I actually look at the reputations, I think Mr. Pandaria is one of the expansions where my hunter has basically nothing. I might have gone back and done the basic quest lines at some point, but I think I was, yeah, I'm quite sure I was maining a rep paladin back then. And when I say main, I mean main very loosely. You know, I've been hardcore casual my entire playtime, really. I don't think people really needed the rep. I just think they wanted the mount. You had all the Wiggly Boy dragon mounts, didn't you? Yeah. And Alani. Oh, Sky Shard farming. You know what? Gold making in the tail end. Gold making in the tail end of Mr. Pandaria was quite interesting, because it was straight up all about hardcore farming for shit. People snoozed massively on crafting, and the reason people snoozed on crafting was because of you had to press a button once a day to get your patterns. I remember, what was it, the Gulai keys or something, the cash keys, you were trying to farm them up. Potion of Luck AoE farming was huge back in the day. Yeah. I've been thinking about this the last couple of days. There's been a few posts that have over on the WoW on the WoW economy subreddit that have piqued my interest over the last couple of days. In terms of just how the landscape of gold making has changed over the years, and as time has gone on, well, actually, Shadowlands is almost an anomaly. The majority of the gold making, from what I've always seen and experienced, was very, very, very heavily focused on farming stuff. All the time, it was super heavily focused on farming stuff. That was the meta for gold making for years. And this is why all these farming YouTube channels popped off initially, because everybody wanted to know what the new biggest, greatest farm was. A whopping 20,000 gold an hour. Yeah, if you could do that back in the day, you were balling. You were doing some madness if you could make 20,000 gold in an hour. The problem is, though, is people over the years have caught on, and especially in Shadowlands, almost 100% because of the power of the legendaries. People have caught on to, well, actually, if I want to make more than just a basic amount of gold, you have to move on from doing just farming. You can still farm in your spare time if you wish, if you enjoy it, if you're collecting stuff, but it's not the meta. Arguably, it never was. But I mean, look, for years, the Alani Sky Shard farm. I mean, there's still people. I still see people doing the Sky Shard farm even today. There's always some random stream on the go of, you know, people farming the Sky Shards to try and make the Alani mount. You don't even need a group of people to tag Alani anymore. I think you can do the whole process completely solo. Spirit of Harmony is still great even now. Yeah, there's a lot from Mr. Pandaria that's aged well. There's a lot that's aged well. I mean, it was the expansion that gave us the Sky Golem. It was the expansion that gave us the Jewel Crafting Panther mounts. There was a lot that aged very well. Material, I mean, Ghost Iron Ore has held its value forever. Which is not something you've really seen from all of the expansions. There's a couple of expansions where you just straight up don't give a damn about anything in them nowadays. I'm just trying to think, is there from Burning Crusade? Burning Crusade has a weird, a lot of the patterns for transmog from the Burning Crusade, or they're considered transmog now. They obviously weren't transmog back in the days. But a lot of the patterns in Burning Crusade are so incredibly rare that is a bit of a pull and a bit of, you know, it draws attention to it even today. Farming the rare patterns, crafting the rare transmog items. Wrath of the Lich King. You had the, what do you call it, the Mechanico Hog thing. The engineering mount. Still something that people craft and sell today. Was there much from Wrath, though, that we still care about? Titanium ore. Saronite ore. I guess for the purpose of probably crafting it into Titan steel for, once again, for transmog crafts, I guess. Cataclysm? Do we have anything from Cataclysm era that's still even remotely relevant? Because Potion of Treasure Finding has, whilst still works, I think is far less. Oh, Vial of the Sands. Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. Of course. Okay, well there's still definitely something then from Cataclysm. Yeah, Vial of the Sands is a big one because that incorporates a lot of the materials as well, because you need some herbs, you need your alchemy to make your flasks, if I remember right. I'm trying to remember the full pattern for it now. Yeah. What is this? Shadowlands, what is this? Jewel crafting patterns? Oh, yeah. Back in the day, the amount of patterns. Oh my lord! I've had jewel crafting on my main character since the Northrend days. I still don't have most of these patterns. I have a good, considerable quantity of Northrend ones. I think I've got most, if not all, of the Pandaria patterns, because you can cheese it with Golden Lotus to circumvent the daily research. And then I've got everything else. Everything since, yeah, obviously. What a flop, Draenor. Oh my god. Yeah, jewel crafting patterns is the bane of my life. To this day, I should still be doing Cataclysm dailies for my jewel crafting. The inner collector in me gets a bit itchy when I start looking at the past expansion patterns for jewel crafting. Woo, little bonus Sunday stream. What's new? What's new is my schedule and my routine is completely shot. So I could barely tell you what day of the week it is or what hour of the day it is at the moment. My brain's a bit cooked. Entirely my own fault though. And I've been slacking. I've been incredibly slacking with the streams as of late. So I thought I'd say hi to you guys. Usually I sit down and I watch the UFC on a Sunday, but there wasn't really much of that to do today. Right, let's get this stuff posted. I've basically completed Zereth Mortis, I think, now, for the most part, as well. I know it's something that I've been working on a little bit in the background. Keeping... What are these names? You're a new character name. Outside of aggressively farming Genesis motes now, basically done with Zereth Mortis. This is all part and parcel of why I've not even logged into WoW for a few days. I'm at that point which I saw coming. I almost planned for it because I knew it was coming. I knew there'd come a point very quickly where I'd just be, you know, basically done with 9.2. And it happened a lot faster than I expected to, if I'm honest, but you're either living the dream or fell sick. I hope it's the former. I'm always living the dream. Being able to do this and consider it, you know, my job is without a doubt living the dream. And I don't get ill. I'm never like ill. I'm human like everybody else. I have off days, but I tend not to really get ill. It's a little bit difficult to get ill when you barely leave the house. All the germs and the gross stuff is outside of the four walls that I live in. But no, I'm generally alright. I did have this weird. I was saying earlier though that I had this weird feeling over the last few days. A feeling that I tend not to feel more than like maybe for a week at a time every 4 years. I think it's a feeling that most people call boredom, which is a very strange feeling to have. I thought so too. I went outside once. I was sick as fuck. Exactly, yeah. Stay indoors. It's far safer. Far safer. The only virus I'm going to be catching is a computer virus. But yeah, when boredom kicks in, I have no idea what the hell to do with it. Oh, you are genuinely ill right now. You actually had to go to the hospital. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, make sure you do rest up. Take a relaxed day or two. You know what? Your disappearance from WoW coincides with all amateur goblins leaving the auction house. My gold graph is flying better than the first week. Same thing happened in 9.1, so thank you, I guess. Well, yeah, this is one thing that does happen. There comes a point in the patch where most people are like done, and I think it's more than just. Now I know I'm obviously very biased here, but I think that it's more than just your casual goblins that have called it a day. I think there's a lot of people that are just straight up done with Shadowlands now. Even the big goblins, you know. I hit my target for Shadowlands. My target was 100 mil liquid. That for me was going into Shadowlands.
Is that your wallet?
A stretch
You're just
target.
glad to see me. Both, I hope.
Oh, check
Ooh,
this out.
first birthday, laughing face, cheers, all smiley face.
Happy birthday! 12 months anniversary. Thank you very much, Natty. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I think there's a fair few people that are probably just done with Shadowlands, straight up done. And it's not just, you know, the casual people that dip in and out of gold making as and when it's a seasonal, you know, the hot thing to be doing. I think there's a lot more than that are just like, you know what, I've made my bag, you know, cashed in, cashed out. We'll go do something else for a while. This also happens when we get the 0.5 patches. The same thing, like, I shit you not, patch 9.2.5 for goblins might actually end up being just as ridiculous, if not more ridiculous, than patch 9.2's launch. Simply because it's not a content patch. When it's not a content patch, you often tend to find that it doesn't particularly bring people back, but the people that are still playing all of a sudden are hyper engaged with the game again. So if you happen to have got, you know, a little bit of a tight grip on your auction house at that time, you can really benefit. Some of my biggest patches, I think 9 point, where is it? 9 point, let's go back like 2 years. This, I think, was, yeah, this was 9.0.5, maybe? 9.0 came out around here. The original rank 4, 1s to 4s was about here. Dipped, little bit of investing. Yeah, 9.0.5 was this first big spike. That's when we first hit 20 mil. Then we invested. Took all of the money we made from the 0.5 patch. Invested it. Corthite crystals, hello. And then steady for 9.1. 9.1 was relatively, you know, consistent because, well, I mean, how could it not be? It was just stupid money then. But this was 9.1.5. You see, the biggest verticals, apart from this one, we'll ignore this one. Most of the time, the 0.5 patches for me have been better than the patch launches. 9.2 is obviously a different beast completely. 9.2 is a different beast completely, but, you know, we also sort of saw that coming as well. But yeah, my plan of action, based upon how I was, you know, making my gold, my plan of action was that I will hit 100 million, but I was expecting to not do it for a few months. And the fact that I did, and I knew that the second I did it as well, it would nearly instantly just kill my desire to drive forward any further. I went to the moor again, grinding out that Venari rep. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. I need to do a little bit of more all the things, which worries me, because I basically never played the moor. I just refused to do it. For the entire 9.0 patch, I just refused to do it. I lived in the auction house and I sold ranks 1 through till 4. And that's what I did. I got 168 gear through Venari, and that was it. I'm lucky in terms of Corthia. I think I've basically done most everything on Corthia just accidentally. There's probably not much from an all the things perspective I need to do out in Corthia. But yeah, I kind of need to... Well, the assaults, actually. I never fucked about with the assaults. They were just too much like hard work for me. Especially considering most people were doing the assaults to get the soul cinders. And I didn't care about being on curve for soul cinders. So, once again, I just didn't do it. There's not... I'm pretty strict with the... If I know I'm not going to enjoy doing something, I don't do it. But yeah, the last patch of an expansion for me is always the, you know, go back and just collect everything and do everything that you didn't do previously patch. Usually because you've got all the quality of life stuff by that point. I'm doing the offensive achievement, talk about time gating. I can't remember directly off the top of my head which one that was. But I know that they, yeah, there's some that are pretty gross. I want to take a little bit of a look at materials. What's going on material? Why is shrouded cloth at 44 silver a piece? Yoink. Pallid bones on the cheap and all. Go on then. Are you kidding me even more? No, hang on. What's going on here then? What's going on here then? Materials don't really seem to have moved in price. Still exactly the same as soul dust at 17. That's still expensive. People really cannot be bothered with shuffling, can they? Really cannot be bothered with shuffling. Nobody's that desperate for gold right now. Lightless silk is... Whoa! Haha, that's a reset. What's going on here? Who stole all the lightless silk? Oh, shit. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Phaedrum at 29. And, well, most of it appears to be mine as well. That's because the... I'm going to take full advantage of that. That's because there was a bot. There was a bot farming Phaedrum ore on my realm for literally months. And it got to the point where even I didn't want to stockpile any more of it. But he appears to have either been banned or moved on to something else. So the Phaedrum ore has gone back to a reasonable price again. Sinvir ore is still holding strong. Lithium is still at 85 gold. Whoa. That I was not expecting. Another... I'm very happy to admit when I'm wrong. Mostly because I don't have to do it too often. Or at least I try not to have to do it too often. But one thing I definitely misjudged was a lithium ore going into this patch. I mean, my logic was sound. My logic was simple, that the second we get flying, that people will be farming Zereth Mortis so aggressively, presumably for POG essences, that a lithium ore will just tank in price as a byproduct. But what I didn't counter for, what I didn't counter in was just how much a lithium is going to be bought by jewel crafters. Because then nobody about that Leystrite life. Nobody wants to be prospecting Leystrite. And ironically, there isn't any. Meaning that, you know, it's not even as if you can buy your Leystrite super cheap and just spend a bit of time prospecting it. You'd actually be alright prospecting Progenium ore, believe it or not, at these prices. Although there isn't any at that price. So yeah, it's at least on this realm as well. Now I know my little piddly realm is not representative of the market at scale, but that's what's the realm region? Regions about, oh god, okay. Damn. Yeah, I mean, just flying around Zereth Mortis farming a lithium today. This is what I don't understand. In fact, I do kind of understand it. I want to draw attention to a post on Reddit that was where's it gone? This one. Long-term effects of the multi-boxing ban. This post made me giggle because somebody was basically just trying to get a bit of a discussion on the go about, well, it's been a while now since the multi-boxing changes. How do we think it's affected the landscape? And nearly a day after this post went live, the only comment made on this was somebody saying, multi-boxing isn't banned. And then a fucking clusterfuck of craziness going on after that. I was like, well, good job, everybody, for not even addressing the actual topic of conversation. So I took it upon myself to chime in with hopefully something a bit more constructive. But But one thing that I quickly came to the conclusion of was simple. That when you leave farming in the hands of real people, nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to be out there farming right now. People want to be crafting and selling legendaries because that's where the real gold is. That's what people want. If they do want to be gold making, people want to be doing the best thing. Even though most people don't have much success with legendaries, simply because of the barrier to entry to it. But it became very apparent to me that if you're trading an hour of your time to go and, you know, gather materials that you can sell to somebody else, you can still make a really good amount of gold. I would not be surprised if you can still make like 30,000 gold an hour plus, which is madness, right? That's kind of what you'd expect to get at the start of an expansion, when everything's brand new, everything's fresh. You know, 30,000 gold should be your barrier to entry to farming. You might be able to push to 40 if you're really optimal. You might be pushing to 50. But 30,000 gold an hour is a really good, solid amount of gold to be getting for an hour of your time. Ultimately meaning that if you really wanted to, you could probably spend a day, you know, mong out in front of Netflix or YouTube, your favorite streamer, whatever. You could mong out in front of some content, casually farming for the afternoon, and probably get yourself your monthly token done and dusted in an afternoon or two. Maybe dedicate a weekend to it. It's remarkably easy to play the game for free right now, considering that there's no multi-boxes. As it currently stands, I don't know how you guys feel on your realms, but generally speaking, it seems to be pretty bot-free right now. Now, touch something that's made of wood, it stays that way, but it seems to be that there's pretty bot-free. There are obviously some, sure, but Guildy of mine did a gold cap on Pog Essence farming. Once the Pog dropped sub 10k, he felt it wasn't worth it anymore. Well, this is it. Like, I hate the word worth. People throw the word worth around so, like, willy-nilly. Oh, well, this should be worth this. Nobody seems to pay any attention to the fact that the word worth is it's very personal. Something could be worth it to you, but not even remotely worth it to somebody else. But yeah, this is the thing, and this is why you get seasonal gold makers. You get people that will dip in, you know, they'll be making 50, 60, 70,000 gold an hour, absolutely loving it. But when that drops to 35, they're like, fuck this, I'm out, I'm done. Whereas somebody else can come in and go, wow, 35,000 gold an hour. I was making 10,000 gold an hour vendor shuffling last week. This is incredible. It's, you know, it's all relative. And then at the other end of the scale, that, you know, even flying around,
hello there,
flying around gathering 70,000 gold of materials in an hour. You ain't getting me doing that. No way, shape or form. I ain't getting out of bed for less than 100k an hour. And even then, I'll think about it. It's just, you know, it's all relative. For him, it was more just get a gold cap. I'm done for the expansion and part of the next. He's only doing Mythic Plus. But this is it. If you're farming just to cover your in-game expenses, then that's a really sensible way to do it. That's why these seasonal gold makers exist. They dip into gold making as and when, you know, there's lots of gold to be had. And then they peace out. And then it's the long-term goblins that are in it for a little bit, you know, of the long term, who clean up in the off-season, whilst obviously still getting very rich in the peak season as well. But Seducer, how we doing? Welcome in. Yes, this is Manthius live on a Sunday afternoon because my schedule is busted. Welcome in though, hope you're well. Have I finished posting stuff? I think I have. I think I've finished posting stuff. Oh, what I didn't get to actually was the big materials, did I? Corthite crystals are less than 100 gold. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Well, well, well. I mean, can't you vendor these for like 50 gold a piece? Don't they have like a 50 gold vendor price? Where's the sell price? 31 gold a piece. These are vendor bait nearly. I would imagine. Ooh. Oh, that's one thing I've not even streamed since this became a thing, have I? I've not talked about this. The new vestige. Has anybody had any luck with rank 5s? Has anybody been selling rank 5s recently? See, it still says ludicrous profit on the rank 5s. So I imagine nobody's gone in hardcore on the rank 5s. At least not on my realm. Is it still bugged though? It was 7 levels of broken the other day. That it wasn't even on the flipping vendor. I'm assuming you all understand what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the new vestige as well. I'm sure there's plenty of people that have spoke about it. But the I need to load that account up anyway. Let's get that on the go. It's on the vendor now, yeah. It's a nice little surprise when Blizz sold a few. Yeah, there's a new. If you're honoured with the Enlightened, there's a new vestige that will work only to convert your rank 1 pattern up to rank 5. So it's basically like a +4 vestige, but it only works on the rank 1 pattern. And you don't have to craft it either. You just straight up buy the vestige from the vendor. I'll log on and I'll see if I can spot it. It was a bit busted for a few days, which is why so many people thought it. I mean, when I first saw the fact that it was a thing, I genuinely thought it was they were just leaning into the rank 5 meme, and it was a bit of an April Fool's thing. It was just, you know, slightly awkward timing from Blizzard in terms of when they pumped it out, but just price them slightly below any slot with a very expensive rank 4. Yeah. Well, I imagine on the bigger servers that there'll be people that will just, you know, I shit you not, there'll be people that will craft like 90 of them and post them all on the auction house at the same time because people will do silly things. Oh god, why is it slow? We're in 10 FPS mode again. 12 FPS. Are we doing oh, item cache. Okay, let's give that a minute then. Let's give the item cache a minute. Come on, game, we done 30 FPS. It's thinking about it. It's thinking about it. Come on, TSM shouldn't tell you this long. Well, we can live with 30 FPS for now. Villo. Still not. I still can't see it. Yeah, I still don't see it. What if I go all? Nope, still busted for me. Still busted for me. I had to server hop to a different shard to see them for me. Must be bugged for some, not for others, I guess, unless you need to do the full campaign. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very aware it's bugged for people, for some people and not for others. Ooh, a Blingtron. Go on then, we'll have a Blingtron gift. Nothing of value.
Blessings to you. Until we meet once more.
But yeah, well, it's meant to be. It's meant to be that this dude will sell you a vestige. And this is probably, in a weird way, see, I went straight in. I went straight in with the theory that crafting rank 5s to sell them is just a bait, straight up bait. Simply for the fact that you're going to find that people will use it as a way to level their professions, and they'll just craft 50 of them or something stupid in one go. But the fact that, you know, so many people don't even see it on the vendor is probably means that if you are able to get them and are able to make those rank 5s, you might actually make some money off them. Let's take a little, let's go Grim Veiled. 249s. Only 2 listed at 30k. One of which is mine. And mine is already deep undercutting just to try and get rid of it. 249. The only one listed is mine. Okay, nobody has paid any attention to this on my realm at all. Grimveiled Capes. Not a single person is listing a 249 Grimveiled Cape. Hood. 249s, there's only 3 of them, one of which is mine. Mittens, there's only 3 of them, one of them's mine. Pants, there's only 1 of them, it's mine. Yeah, not a single person's paid any attention to this on my realm at all. Including me, by the way. I'm still posting these based on my TSM business. Now, I'm not super keen to dumpster the price on these. Just, I mean, because I'm trying to. I'm still. These were crafted using the expensive method, or the original method. There's not a single pair of sandals at 249. I can't believe there's some red legendaries that are just not even represented. Oh god, am I gonna have... There's only 2 Grimveiled robes at 291. Oh god, am I gonna have to get back into crafting legendaries again? 171,000 gold for the pants. And there's 7 of them. What are people doing? I leave the auction house alone for a few days, and look what happens. Oh god. Are we gonna... Jesus. The profits on these. The profits on these. This is wild. Okay. Umberhide. He said that was some Phaedrum ore and an Umberhide waistguard, apparently. 249s, there's still only 1 of them. This one's not mine, though. I mean, even crafting 249s in the legit fashion right now with Corthite crystals at 100 gold again. Oh, I really didn't want to have to do this. Gauntlets, 249s, there's only 2 of them. See, this is kind of what I expected to happen, right? I kind of expected the 249s to just end up being like 5k a piece. 5, 10k a piece. But, you know, if people can't buy the reagent off the vendor, then there's not much choice. Sees nothing but dollars, can't help himself. It's two things, right? Two things. One, the fact that there's some ranks of legendaries that aren't even represented on the auction house is just madness. There is one pair of Umberhide gauntlets at rank 4. One. And it's mine. On a Saturday afternoon, there is only one pair of Umberhide gauntlets at rank 4. It's a Sunday, isn't it? On a Sunday afternoon. See, I told you, I have no idea what day it is or what hour of the day it is. My brain is cooked. Not to mention the price of some of these 291s. These 291s, I mean, arm guards are relatively, I mean, nearly less than 50k. I mean, these things have got crafting costs of like less than 30k. And yet there's still some pieces that are selling, or listed, should I say, 75k, 61, 73, 57, 50. The 249 is listed for more than the rank 7. Oh. 262 listed for more than the 291. Oh my days. There's not a 249 even listed. Oh my lordy lord. Oh my lordy lord. I mean, I bet Bone Shatter's even worse. I was one of the only people on this realm that had everything for Bone Shatter. There wasn't many people that even cover all the slots. 70k for the arm guards. 70k for a pair of arm guards. The rank 4 for 108k. Bargain. Actual bargain. There's not a 249. Oh my lord. There's not a 249 Bone Shatter Gauntlets even. There's only one Bone Shatter Greaves at 249. $120,000. 120k for a Bone Shatter Helm. There's not even any Bone Shatter Pauldrons. There's not even any 190s. Oh, this realm is bust. Oh, God. There's not even any 190s. Just the man. Dude, what are you playing at? What have you done to this realm? So these are better. Don't even have Bone Shatter Helm nor the Pauldrons. Well, there we go. I'm incredibly surprised just how few legendaries there are and just how highly valued some of these still are based on the current landscape. And I'm a bit tired of legendaries at the moment. See, this is it. People have gone too hard. You know, people have gone ham. And they're just done. It's just GG, well played. It's just, I'm done. 176,000 gold, most of it Phaedra Moore by the looks of things. Grimscale leg guards of the Quick Blade. Who in the world is buying these? Who in the world is buying these? Rank 6 Umberhide Waistguard for 20k. Bargain. Bargain. The irony there is that it's technically profitable, even at 20k. Because Corthite crystals are free. Made my gold cap, just focus on other stuff now. It's the same mentality lots of people have got at the moment, and I don't blame them. I mean, I did exactly the same. I made my bag and then I dipped.
What have you learned today?
Well, it's interesting that that's still not even on the vendor, even for me. Even days after, you'd have assumed that would be something. If they're going to hotfix in something that's meant to appease the just outrage that's being caused around legendaries, if they've hotfixed something into the game, you'd have assumed that they'd want the hotfix to actually work, wouldn't you? I genuinely think people are just going to think that it's April's Fools and just move on. I think prime time isn't even prime time for me anymore. I sell more at non-prime time just because there's less competition. Welcome to Sylvanas. Yeah, the reason I've stayed so heavily focused on Sylvanas as my main realm is for that exact reason. It's for that exact reason. I can post a bunch of stuff before I go to bed, wake up the next day, and a bunch of it has sold. You can't do that on the bigger realms. This is one of the luxuries of being on a slightly smaller realm. You try and do that on Draenor, or you try and do that on Taran Mill, or Silvermoon, or, you know, any of these really big full pop servers. If you're not actively cancel scanning, you're not selling stuff. But Sylvanas is one of the realms where I can literally post stuff, go to bed, wake up the next day, a bunch of it's probably sold. With 0 cancel scans, I can still sell a small percentage of my stuff every day. What the fuck is this? A Sunday stream? Yeah. The schedule's out the window for the moment. Same for me on a medium pop, always wake up to a few 100k. Yeah, this is it, and this means that it constantly keeps things ticking over. The mega servers, the super mega servers are fun. They're a blast. You have the ability on the super mega servers to straight up make multiple gold caps in a day when, you know, the stars align, patch days, this sort of stuff. You can do some crazy things, but the slightly smaller realms are way more consistent. Way more consistent. Crit damage and healing by 20 or mastery. I guess we'll have mastery. We can have 5 of these things, can't we? We can't have mastery again, so I guess we go leech. This is why, as much as I don't need this one, but it's fun. As much as I, for the longest of time, have wanted to like 100% transfer to one of these full pop realms, I do like the fact that, you know, I can just passively keep selling stuff, even with very little effort. One more for good luck. We'll go. We can't have mastery again, can we? So I guess we go stamina again. Let's load those up. There we go. There's our buffs. Not that we need buffs to go do world quests, but you know, if you're in the zone, you might as well play the zone. I'm still working away on my reputation. We are 6.5k into revered.
The creatures of Provis fauna have fallen into madness, but their little ones may still be saved.
Let's get these done real quick. Did it? What's going on here? Oh, it's you, you son of a bitch. Will you let me pick up the pissing? There we go. Yeah, I need to. There's not much for me to do in Zereth Mortis now. Not much to do here at all. I still want to collect all of the mounts and all of the pets, which requires Genesis moat farming like a crazy person. I might just, like I said, I want to just maybe pick a mount every day, and we'll do what we need to do to get that mount, and eventually we'll just have them all. Chip away at it slowly but surely. Is that one? That's not one. Door there. How many is that? 7. One more. One more.
These creatures were
Bingo.
precious to the first ones. Thank you for rescuing them.
This is the cache. The cache is always nice and quick and easy. Start with the long boy. I mean, I've done everything in my power to be able to get that thing. Everything in my power to be able to get that. Technically, I could buy that thing many times over. I just need to be given the opportunity. Give me the opportunity. Make it turn up on the black market auction house, and I will not hesitate. I've kind of half been tempted. Now that guild transfers are back, with guild transfers being back, and I genuinely think that they just kept guild transfers closed for the race to world first. I've been very tempted to just load up a guild with 10 million and just send it to some random ass realm on the off chance. On a different account as well. I would also transfer it to a different account, just purely so that, you know, I can have... I mean, I've got 8 accounts. I might as well be using them. The problem is, it's quite an expensive thing to do based on the fact that there is only one thing I actually want from the black market auction house, and that's the long boy. I couldn't care about anything else. Which is a problem.
Try using the relic.
But the thing is I still, I have still not seen anybody report or give information on it. It turned up once on, where was it? That French realm. Begins with an E. It turned up. Oh, Hyjul even. Yeah, there we go. Doesn't even begin with an E. It turned up a few days, you know, once, and people got hyped about the fact that it turned up once. There's been no reports of it being seen again, so I have no idea what's going on. No idea what's going on with that thing. It's another one of those things though as well. The long boy is kind of like, you know, my stretch goal for Shadowlands was to hit 100 mil. That was my goal. I reached my goal and I lost all interest in playing the game almost instantly. I kind of don't want to get the long boy for that exact reason. But then I'll have really no reason to play the game. What I wanted to do is turn the settings down on this. This thing is being stupid in the background. We do not need massive FPS draws from this in the background. I contemplated as well loading back up my NA account and starting to do some stuff there. Because one thing I said a while ago was that I'm very tempted to play the next expansion from the NA perspective. Very, very tempted. Because I've got my NA account. I've got a level 60 over there. I don't have much else over there. But it's an opportunity for the whole fresh start thing. Plus, I've memed on the NA servers for long enough that they're just, you know, at easy mode. Become the beta tester, yeah, that's kind of it, isn't it? I've kind of memed on the NA realms a little bit for being easy mode this entire expansion, without really putting in much effort to try and, you know, back that up. But I kind of, you know, I want to see a little bit more about what the next expansion is going to be, because who knows, there might be something to which I gain such a monstrous advantage by having a big pile of gold that it might be so much of an advantage that I can't, you know, can't turn down. Wonder how the time difference would affect your sales. Well, I would be able, this is kind of the thing, right? It would allow me to have to, it would kind of force me to play around that. I was thinking that if we go over to the NA, we do something that, you know, deliberately means that you're, that's not so much of a thing. Focus on selling things that aren't super time sensitive. Heaven forbid, we might even look at things like transmog. Things that, I mean, I'm talking about the elite level transmog. I'm not talking about fucking farming that stupid saltstone cave level of transmog. I'm not about that life. But, you know, elite, maybe items that are solely like unique appearances, that sort of stuff. Stuff that you just want. You can buy if you see them at a cheap price. You can then list them for like stupid money. Felsteel and Longblade and stuff. The elite level transmog stuff, not the basic crap. I can't be doing with that. What do you think about the Zygor gold? Think about Zygor. I guess you're referring to the gold making section. I love Zygor to bits. I've used it for years. I promote the living crap out of it. I would recommend Zygor to anybody, but the gold making section is trash. Absolute trash. You're not going to use Zygor for the gold making side of things. I certainly would not recommend it for that at all. For questing, for achievement hunting, for mount collecting, for pet farming, for many things, the Zygor's very good. The gold making side of things, it is not, though. I would not recommend it on the back of its gold making abilities. Okay, I have no need to do the daily quests because they're all a bunch of blah. So I'm actually basically done on this dude now. We can go park him back over in Haven. Got the world quests out the way. Got our reputation for the day. Oh, no. Actually, that's what I was going to do, wasn't it? That's what I was going to do. I was going to go work out what we need for one of the mounts. Let's get our mount for the day. Better to use the money and buy a token instead. Oh, I see. Right. Well, yeah, like I said, Zygor's very good at what it offers generally. It's not good for the gold making side of things. So if you would be looking at it solely for the purpose of gold making, no, it's tragic. Don't bother. But if there were other, you know, if the collecting and the questing and the alts and all that sort of stuff is enjoyable to you, I permanently am using Zygor to do something. Even if it's just dumb level stuff, like clicking on a world quest and it, you know, just telling me how to do the world quest without me. It's, you know, it's autopilot sort of stuff. You're kind of an expert on TSM. Do you know why my older custom sources suddenly became invalid? Without seeing it, no. Feel free to post in the Discord though. Throw a screenshot up in the Discord, and either myself or somebody else will be happy to take a look. Setting up selling mage tower items on the NA could be good. See, that's a good sort of, you know, it's one of the stepping stones that you have to go through for sure. Right, I think we're at the point where I just go through the list now, don't I? I think I just go through the list and I get the ones that I need. Not collected. Prototype Leaper. What do we need for this then? We need a tools of incomprehensible experimentation. Oh, this seems to come from the raid. Interesting. Is the only source for this from the raid? That could be a fun one. Actually, this is a good opportunity for me to wonder if Zygor has updated itself for the new mounts yet. If I search for prototype Leaper, no. Jump in Wowhead real quick. What was it called? Tools of incomprehensible experimentation. Dropped by, oh, haha, it is genuinely just an LFR boss drop. Okay. Well, I've already done LFR this week on this character. I don't have much desire to do it on other characters. The fact that it's the only source for it is interesting. Oh, it's also the reward from the new architect quest. That's, yeah, because you get one of these as a freebie, don't you? Now, is this quest repeatable? Can I do that quest again on an alt? I wonder if somebody's... Because the unlocking of the protoform synthesis isn't account-wide. Oh, hidden account-wide tracking achievement which gets flagged when you unlock mount crafting for the first time. If you've previously completed this quest on your account, you will not receive the lattice or implementation, nor will you get the full Genesis motes. You'll receive 30 Genesis motes and the standard gold reward. If you had hoped to unlock this multiple times to make the mote drop grind easier, no such luck. Well, there we go then. Okay. Have we done the repository vault this week? I can't remember. Okay. Well, let's go by the assumption then I need 2 of these, I think. The prototype Leaper and the unsuccessful prototype Fleet Pod are the 2 mounts that I need these for. Okay, we're going to need 2 of those. Alright. Gold-plated one, you've already crafted this one. Pale Regal Ceravid. Protoform Sentience Crown. How do we get one of these then? Check this one out. Protoform Sentience Crown. Where does this come from? This comes from... dropped by a bunch of stuff in Zereth Mortis. Just super low drop chance from stuff. Very, very small drop chance, but has dropped repeatedly from defective protectors, defective reformatters, and dominated Gyros. Who are these and where are they? These fellas up here, these things. Are they all? Oh, these things over here. These things over here. Right, we're going to farm up a bunch of these then, are we? Okay, let's see what the comment says for these. Farm these with the daily quest Dangerous State is up. It will spawn Dominated Gyro for the quest that are otherwise not up. They respawn rather quickly and there's probably 20 to 25 spawn points in close proximity. I farmed 2 crowns in about 30 minutes last time it was up. I had other stuff to do so I didn't get the 3rd one. Much easier and more reliable than farming the elites. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we hang fire on that one then. How many of these do we need in total? We've done 1 out of 3 of these. So we need 2 more of these as well. 2 more of those we're going to need at some point. We could go farm the rares, I suppose. Let's see if there's something that's a bit easier to get our hands on though. More forged bridle, sepulchre, treasure chest, high value cash. Oh, okay. Is this going to be another one that's... and we need 3 of these things as well. More forged bridle. Oh! 0.5% chance for it to come out of a cache. High value cache, 91% chance for it to drop in the sepulchre, the first ones. Claims it to be a guaranteed drop from the high value cache inside the raid. Artificial Zymox room. There's a weekly lockout. The high value cache will not spawn on LFR difficulty. Well, that's a bag of dicks, isn't it? That's a bag of dicks. That's going to make that one remarkably more frustrating to get my hands on, isn't it? You need to have the security override orb, which drops from Taskmaster Dude after dying with the buff security override applied to it. Okay. Can confirm it drops from the caches. It just dropped for me. Well, I've got nothing else to spend the ciphers on now. So the likelihood is we're just going to dump it into these caches anyway. So maybe we just get lucky. Alright. Let's try our luck. I think I've got a bunch of ciphers. Yeah, I've definitely got a bunch of ciphers. 1,300 ciphers. Let's go and see if we can open a cache. We've nearly got the option to open 2. Hopefully this will break up the monotony, I think, at least a little bit of farming for the Genesis motes. I was strongly of the belief that the Genesis motes were going to be the bottleneck for me, but they might actually not end up being the bottleneck. The bottleneck might be some of these rare materials. Let's see if we can tap into some streamer luck. Open one of these caches, get some streamer luck on the go. It's got to be a thing, right? It's got to be. Check there's not anything else I actually want from these before I burn all of my I've got the permanent Poco Pock. I don't need this on this character. Got the soup thing. Yeah. Let's buy one of these. Let's test our luck on one of these. Come on. Streamer luck time. Streamer luck. I mean, we're not that far off getting a second one of these. But streamer luck time. Pog Essence. We'll take a Pog Essence. Pog Essence, 16 Genesis motes. And what was that? 400 gold? Wow. That's, that's terrible. Oh, God. 400 gold for 700 ciphers? That is... Woo! Alright then. Fine. Got a Pog Essence out of it, though. I guess you can't complain about the Pog Essence. Right, well. Never lucky on that one, then. Maybe we have to farm up some dudes over here. What was the one we looked at before this? The crown. This thing. Now it says to kill the dominated Giro for it. But alternatively, it is also dropped by defective reformatters and protectors, neither of which are elite, which means we can pew them real quick. Which are the ones over here? These dudes. We'll go slap a bunch of these and see if we can get one. Get one of the crowns. Maybe they even drop Genesis motes as well. So two birds with one stone, maybe. Defective reformatters. It's these dudes, isn't it? Right. Yeah, these just melt, look. Let's see if we can farm a bunch of these then. Cheeky chest, don't mind if I do. That one, and that one. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Bingo! Now these things claim to have like it's claimed that these are like a 2%, 0.2% drop chance or something, but there's loads of these, so this shouldn't be too hard, I reckon. And tag a bunch of them. Oh, that's the wrong crown. This is a serious amount of server lag right now.
I'm out of range.
Which I could definitely do without. These things don't appear to give me Genesis motes at the same time, though. I was really hoping they'd drop Genesis motes. Is it just beasts that give Genesis motes? Or sort of animals? I guess it might be. I guess it kind of makes sense, considering you're trying to, you know, use their essence to make a new something or other. What about the Colossuses? Now, I know they're big dudes. If they have a significantly higher drop chance, I might contemplate pew-pewing those dudes. Defective Colossus, are you on my list? I can't... Oh. Yes, but like, tragically bad. Oh, I've managed to pull it anyway. Alright, fine. Well... This time, and this time only. You're a secret mount farmer? I mean, I enjoy collecting stuff. I'm not what I would consider good at it. I enjoy collecting stuff when I have basically nothing else to do. Is the God's honest truth there. The more I play the game, the more I get into collecting stuff, though, simply because I've played this character for just so long at this point. One thing I kind of like about the collecting side of the game as well is that it does push you into corners of the game that you wouldn't necessarily see or experience otherwise. People who just have zero shits for collecting miss out on a huge amount of the game, I think. Now, obviously, if the collecting of the item requires you to do just like monstrous amounts of farming, I can understand why people don't like it. But most of the stuff, most of the mounts and the pets and toys and stuff you have to get in game, most of them are not actually like grinds. Most of them is just a case of just go get it. Just do a thing and you go get it. Or they're they just you passively get them by doing like a bunch of daily quests or completing a content zone or something. I only have one really rare mount. Yeah, I mean, I don't have many. I don't have many at all. Have you ever used the add-on All the Things? Yeah, I'm a bit of an All the Things fiend. I'm in the process of trying to complete Zereth Mortis, so yeah, All the Things is it's a bit of a drug. Once you get hooked on it, it's kind of hard to leave it alone. There's one thing that changed my life, not for the better. I would like to state, one thing that changed my life was finding the random All the Things button, or the command. I can't actually remember what it is now, which is probably a good thing. but there's a way to get all the things to just randomly pick something out of its database to tell you to go and get. And and you can select like mount and stuff. There's a secret hidden menu in it. I can't remember how you do it. The is it /ATT random? The developer of the add-on pops into the stream from time to time, and he pointed out a few funky things with it that you could do. Sounds like Warcraft Russian roulette. It very much is. It very much is. Because like I said, most of the collecting stuff, they're not grinds. It's just the fact that you haven't gone and got it. It is an absolute time sink. It is by definition a complete time sink that you just need to spend time going somewhere and getting something, and then you know you've got it. I dare you to do a random one. I've contemplated making it like a channel point redeem thing, but the problem is it sort of it has the potential then to very much just take over the stream. Not that my streams are overly organised. I tend to get distracted by squirrels in the first place. But we're usually like, you know, I wouldn't want somebody to redeem it halfway through me, you know, react-andying to something, or, you know, I'm not sure how to do it. I thought I might bank them. Banking them might be a thing. You know, people can trade in their channel points for an all the things random redeem. I may not necessarily do it there and then, but it can be banked for me to work through. Time to settle my twink. No, that's what I call fun. Back in the day, twinking used to be a massive thing. I mean, people used to dedicate serious amounts of time to making twinks. But this was also back in the days more so when actually leveling was a real time restriction. You know, when it used to genuinely take you like 48, 72 hours to actually level a character. Not the 5 hours it takes today. Then actually having like a level 39 twink was like a really cool thing. Shut up and take my coffee beans. I worry though that there are some people out there with millions of those things now. I've completely lost track of just how many people have. And Haddock, people like yourself, I would imagine, probably have a disgusting amount of coffee beans lying about. Entirely my own fault, because I never give any reason for people to use them. 124,000 of them. There we go. Yeah, I assumed that there'd be people with a fair few. Play an ad. I will considering we're not doing much of anything particularly fancy, I will press the ad button today. I tend not to press the ad button, mainly because it doesn't really do anything. If I had 5,000 viewers at all times, it might be worth me pressing the button from time to time, but God's honest truth is the ad button doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything other than annoy people, so I don't see much point in pressing it. Waiting for eating Doritos to become an option. Yo, if Doritos is listening, you wanna hook me up with a cheeky sponsorship, we can talk. I'll plug some chips, no problem. thinking that we are going to have to wait until that daily quest. That the quicker way of doing this will be the daily quest. I mean, that was the suggested way of doing it. I was just thought that, you know, I might strike it lucky, pew in a few of these, get one nice and quickly. Considering we didn't have any streamer luck with our cash today. Although I guess getting a Pog Essence from it is probably considered streamer luck, isn't it? Oh, TSM's died on me. Why is TSM dying on me? Is this a sync error? Yeah, it's a sync error. I don't care then, it's fine.
I need to get closer.
Oh, it's a sync error because my bank character's gone offline. That'll be why. That'll be it. That'll do it. Isn't there some add-ons that track the amount of things that you've killed as well? I think, I thought all the things did it, but apparently not. Or maybe it tracks it for things like boss kills, but... It'd be interesting to see just how many of these things I actually have to kill. It wouldn't be retroactive though. It wouldn't have been able to keep track of things I've already killed. There's a treasure vault around here somewhere. Where's it gone? Oh, it literally disappeared as I got on my mount to go and get it. Lovely. Rarity has that option, I think. That's an add-on I've used before. I've definitely used that before. Going to equip my 400k Mythic Antora's shoulders now. This one's going to hurt. Those are a unique appearance as well, are they not? Isn't that why they're so expensive? There's a bunch of that's actually, mate, I tell you what, you know. I think there's a bunch of the BFA raids are all soloable now, I think, aren't they? And are the BFA raids considered legacy yet? If BFA raids are considered legacy, and I know there's probably quite a lot of unique appearances in there that are BOE, and that's kind of my point here, is that they're bind on equip, meaning that, you know, they're considered transmog and you can sell them. We can probably just use all the things to work this out, right? Open main list. Oh, my game didn't like that. Okay, dungeons and raids. BFA. Hang on, let me get to somewhere where I'm not going to get pew-pewed. Chill up here for a minute. BFA, I don't know. Battle for Dazzalore. Why is it not showing me? Oh, is this only showing me? Is this set to not show me? Why is this not showing me any of the appearances? Any of the gear I need? I've obviously got it set to not show me that stuff. Hang on. How have I got this set up then? No, that's not the one. No, it's got appearance tracking. Um... That doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem to be tracking any gear, though. Oh no, it is. Okay. Huh. When I really nestle down into it, it is showing some stuff. I guess the zone drops are the bind on equips. Some of these are likely to be normal zone drops. Just wondering if there's any unique appearance BOEs. You know, just kind of contemplating farmable sort of stuff. It's a bit difficult because I'm trying to do this on a character that's probably collected a bunch of stuff and is also customized to only show stuff specific to me. I'd need to set up all the things to truly display literally everything. Which, I mean, you can do. You can go into all the things and you can say, right, debug mode, show everything. It's usually not the most sensible way of having it, but now if I open this, if it doesn't crash my game, we could go I wonder if there's any way to... Can you... Is there a way to set it... I know I'm in debug mode at the moment. Is there a way to set it so it only shows BOEs? That would be super clever, wouldn't it? Oh, here's the ATT random. Open up the random list. Yeah, this is dangerous. Maybe we turn off debug mode real quickly. We can have it to show collected things and account mode. What I really want is an option for it to only show BOEs. That then becomes like the ultimate BOE, BOA items. Yes. Is there a way to turn off bind on pickup stuff then? Seasonal. There's probably not, is there? As I imagine, it's probably not something that people would want to do. I don't know, there's just a lot to this add-on, that's the thing. There's just a lot to it. Collected things trigger a screenshot. If you want to take a screenshot for everything you collect. Oh, that's quite clever. I didn't realise that was a thing. Okay. It doesn't appear that there's a... an easy way to have it to show only BOEs. Show collected things as well. So now we can go Dungeons and Raids, Battle for Azeroth, Uldir, for example. Common boss drops. LFR zone drops. BOEs. What you're really looking for is things that are both bind on equip and also unique appearance. Those are items that you really care about, because it means there's no alternative way for somebody to get that appearance. Obviously, most of the boss drops themselves are going to be bind on pickup for nearly everything, I would imagine. Oh, now I've killed it. Oh, it's still dead. What was dead? Oh, that's Zygor. Oh, alright, Zygor, just go away. What, really? No. Alright, fine. You go there. A lot of these are BOE, but there's lots of different ways to get them. There's got to be some... Because what I was thinking about doing is building a group of items that are purely unique appearances, because I don't particularly care about transmog, but if I am going to care about transmog in any way, shape or form, I would, you know, be hyper restrictive on the items that I care about. And, you know, bind on equip bits of gear that are unique appearances, yes, I care about those. Because if somebody wants the appearance, they have one way to get it, and that's kind of quite cool to me. That's the kind of transmog people should care about. And luckily, all the things does very good at, you know, showing you the appearances. Or things that share the appearance. Like the fluid resistant specimen handlers, for example, also share their appearance with the waste disposal crushers. This one's a unique one. Drape of Valiant Defense. Drape of Valiant Defense. Unique appearance there. Back piece as well. Can we... No, what's the button to open this in a pit? There we go, that one. No. That one? Oh, dear God. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's a real short one, look. It's a real short one. I mean, it looks trash, but it's unique all the same. I don't know. I've thought about doing this for a little while. I don't know how I'd approach it, but you know, like I said, if I'm gonna care about tier like transmog, and this is kind of the thing that I'm trying to scale up into now. There comes a point where, I mean, legendary crafting has driven me insane this expansion, and has very, very aggressively killed my passion for crafting. Because if you're not crafting legendaries, what are you doing? Whilst I think the next step up from that, I mean, you do farming, you then, you know, dip your toe in the water with crafting, but then what's after that? What's next? What's the next level up? And the next level up is maybe not necessarily farming for these things yourself, but at least being aware of them, so that if you have them grouped up and you have them itemized, and you can run shopping scans for them. If you see them cheap, you can buy them. Something like this, for example, is one of those items that, because it's a unique appearance, if somebody wants that appearance, they might go looking for this item, which is, you know, the people have no other option but to buy this if they want this appearance. Which, by virtue, makes it more valuable than something else. Can you clear the BFA raid alone, mythic mode for example? Possibly not, probably not currently, probably not, I don't know. Probably not, definitely not sure, not sure. This is also stuff, though, let's not forget that it should trigger into legacy mode once we move on to... Once you move on... I think it's 2... When something is 2 expansions old, then it's triggered as legacy. Legacy raids are meant to be completely soloable, and you also get all of the loot of the boss rather than personal loot, which makes farming for transmogs much easier. If that's kind of, you know, if that's your jam. So, for example, anything that's considered legacy, so Legion and Legion backwards, anything Legion and before, you could probably do all the things collecting very easily, because you just need to clear those raids a few times and you'll probably accidentally end up with most stuff. I just don't do it enough. Right, let's close this though, because it's causing my UI to die. Unique appearances are still unique though. Well, this is it. This is it. Like I said, I don't particularly care for general transmog. I want stuff that is going to be high value, difficult to acquire, and somewhat unique. That puts it in the category of an elite item. It's going to hold its value technically forever and a day because of its uniqueness. There'll always be somebody down the line that will want it. They're the kind of items that you invest in for the long term. If you see one of those available, you can buy it up. You can relist it. You can probably relist it for 5 years, but when it sells, you know, it's a big ticket sale. Sold the Antorus plate wrists, which are unique, for 80k a few weeks ago. It still has a 0.05 sell rate. There we go. There we go. That's a good example. A good example of just, you know, how... Why is my M key music enable or music disable? What? Isn't that meant to be shift M? No. Why is M not map? What? Okay, I think my alt key appeared to be stuck. That's annoying. Okay, well, it seems to have fixed itself. This is a brand new keyboard. That worries me. Anyway, that was a good example of a spectral squirrel. I get distracted by something, but it was a good opportunity for me to wait for all of these things to respawn. Now I've got the music switched on, and I don't want the music switched on. There we go. Yeah, it was my control button by the looks of things that was stuck down. Be interesting to see actually now that we're rolling around in like 250 item level gear, just how easy or difficult it is to solo some of the old stuff. I mean, technically, by the time it's past expansion, I mean, in my eyes, it should be soloable by the time it's past expansion, but I know that's not necessarily how Blizzard sees things. Oh, I've just realised actually, from a collections point of view, I spent quite a lot of BFA running dungeons, multi-boxing dungeons, which means there's a very strong likelihood that for male armor, I probably do actually have most of it already. That could be why I was struggling to find things when looking at BFA stuff. I'd forgotten about that. I'd forgotten I spent most of BFA multi-boxing hunters. That was fun. I do in a way miss multi-boxing. I fully understand why Blizzard had to squish it. But I do. It doesn't mean I don't miss it. It was good fun putting together teams of characters trying to solo. I mean, I was never a fan of this, 8 boomkins standing around just pew-pewing stuff business. That wasn't fun for me. That was just a loophole in a system as far as I was concerned. A loophole which I fully understood why people jumped through, because, if it's a loophole, it's there, it's there until somebody closes it. If it's not considered an exploit, then, fair play, you do you. But the whole boomkin standing around pew-pewing things for 24 hours a day was not my cup of tea with multi-boxing. I enjoyed actually, weirdly, for a long time I was multi-boxing 8 hunters. I was doing Mechagon daily quests on 8 hunters because it was just fun to try and work out how to do it. I kind of miss not being able to do much of that anymore. But yeah, it does mean that from BFA, from a transmog perspective, I probably have a lot of the male armor by virtue of, multi-boxing it. Multi-boxing was also, I mean, you could still technically do that use multi-boxing for this today. Multi-boxing for collecting mounts and toys and, stuff from rares was an actual godsend. Because it meant you could basically multiply your opportunities. If there's a rare that drops a mount that you can only kill it once a day, if you're all of a sudden killing it on 8 characters at a time, you've got 8 times the chance of getting that mount. considering mounts are account wide. I really should have utilised that a lot more, but of course I didn't realise I was on a time schedule with that sort of stuff. You could still do it today, but like I said, anytime you see... The problem with multi-boxing nowadays, not that I absolutely did not intend to get into a multi-boxing discussion, but the problem I see with multi-boxing nowadays is it's just got such a negative perception by the majority of the player base. There are people out there that without even a moment's hesitation will just right-click report anybody they see multi-boxing. Whether you agree or disagree with them doing that doesn't matter. It still happens. And it only takes a certain amount of people to instantly right-click report you for doing something that they deem against the rules, whether it is or not, for your account to potentially fall foul of, like, you know, maybe an auto ban, which is a bit sad, but hey, it's the way the game works. Let's not get in the way of that. I'll do one more sweep of these, and if I don't get one of these crowns, I think we might try something different for a bit. This is why I don't do farming, for the fact that I get incredibly bored if I'm just repeatedly killing the same mobs over and over again. Oh, shit. Dead pet. That's not good. This is not good. This is not good at all. Pet do pet things real quick. Right, we're piecing out of this. We are game over. That was not the button I meant to press. Oh, now my cooldowns are off. Now I'm dead. Alright. That didn't go to plan, did it? That really didn't go to plan. It's alright, nobody's watching, it's fine. Let's try that again, shall we? Ah, could have at least got the crown from that. Could have at least got the crown, just, you know. Humour me, Blizzard. Humour me. Boom. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Right, well, we've not got the crown we needed, which is a bit of an annoyance, but, you know, you can't win everything straight away. Let's, ooh! Cheeky, cheeky. Glimmer of Serenity. How many of these have I got? Oh, I've now got 2 of these. Now, technically, the glimmers are also something I should probably look to collect enough of to make the battle pets. But the fact that you can buy the battle pets is probably going to mean that I will just buy the battle pets. Simply because utilizing my, what do you call them? The Genesis motes, having to farm up yet more Genesis motes for the ability to get on the pets, probably not a thing I'm too excited about. What I do need to do is, I've just realised I need to turn all the things back into not account mode, so I don't care to collect everything from everything. Oh, I also probably need... I keep doing that. I need to tell it to not show things I've already collected. There we go. Turn that one off. If I've collected it, I don't need to see it. Okay. What can we do? We need one of these anima charged yoke things. Or yolk. That's 15 of the spheres we need. Let's give that a blast today. Let's go. What are they called? The ephemeral shards? Is that what they're called? I don't seem to have any on me. Every time I get 15, I turn them into an orb. Let's give that a go to get this toy. The last thing I need for these, for the traversing the spheres. Therium's Forge tap on Progenitor Forges throughout Zereth Mortis. I need the yoke, which is a random reward from the... Oh, no, I've missed my turn in. Anima Charger Yoke is a troll. I think I've opened 15 orbs. Yeah, I don't know how many I've opened, but I've opened a lot. To the point now where I try to build it into my just, you know, something that I do once a day. I'll pick up the forge thing, I'll run around, I'll collect 15 of the things. Hang on, let's see if this daily quest at least gives us anything I care about. Sandsworn Relics, Cosmic... No, I don't care. Yeah, I try to do it just once a day now, and eventually I'll get it, and it'll be something I can tick off the list. But yes, it's an absolute troll. Provis cache keys, obviously you get those by doing the ephemera strands, that's the one, and turning it into an ephemera orb. I don't know if there's anything I still need from this cache though, but either way. Right, so let's go and tap 15 balls. Tap the balls. There we go, there's one. Oh, we do literally have one, okay. Now, what I've not been able to work out is if some balls are worth more than other balls. The bigger the ball, in theory, you'd expect the bigger the ball, the greater the chance for an ephemera shard thing. But that doesn't always seem to be quite how it works. Oh, why are we not getting those shards? Is this one's one over here? Plus they have an internal cooldown as well on these, which is about 3 minutes, I think. Now, if I was really, you know, really trying to optimize this, I'd put together a route to just go round and tap all the balls and make it the size that I can get round and do it all. By the time I get round, they're, you know, they're reloaded again. But nah, just run around randomly like a crazy person. Ooh, kill a rare though. I think I need something from this dude. There's a staff I could get from this one. Staff or stave, however you pronounce it. Staves are the plural of staff, right? I don't know. I've never worked that one out. It's not like English is my first language, though. Did I tap the big one in the middle? I think I did. Let's just sneak in here and try and do it again. Yeah, I did. Cheeky one over here. Yoink. Yep, there's a jet. Oh no, that is the Provis cache. We need the special key for that. there's a strand. What are we up to now? 4. 11 to go. That's not one. This one there almost always gives me a strand. I don't know if there are some that are just, you know, I assume it's probably pretty random. I can't imagine a developer would have put too much thought into this, but there's me saying that this one always gives me a strand and then it doesn't. Great. Yes, there we go. How many Genesis motes am I on right now? Are we even, where are they? There they are. 200. Okay. We're not even remotely close to where we need for a mount anyway. There's 1. There's 10. 5 to go. 5 is the magic number. Four is the magic number. Is this one? Have I tapped this one? 3 is the magic number. Oh, one thing I can do actually, what I haven't done this week is I haven't used my lure on the jellyfish. If anybody wants we can put together a quick raid for the jellyfish mount for anybody that's not done that. I need to go and get the lure though. And yes, I've got fishing this time. Oh shit! That's going to be character locked though, isn't it? Being able to get that lure again, is that going to be a character locked thing? I can't even remember what character I did it on. Oh, I might not be able to actually. Because doesn't can't you just go back to Moldraxxus and can't you just buy another one if you've already got the mount? I can't remember. You did it on your Horde Taran Mill Hunter. Ooh, okay. I might go and, considering I've done, I wonder if it is account wide. That I can just go back and buy another one. I might investigate, you know. I doubt you probably can, but until you check, you don't know.
I have many lucky dudes.
Get rid of some of these greys. I need one more ephemera strand. Hopefully ever. See, I'm glad you I'm glad you guys can remember this stuff. All I remember is I accidentally forgot to have fishing, which was totally unplanned. That's what happens when you take the take the cheat route. No, nothing in there. These can give you strands. That's not what I was looking for, but it's 10 gold, so I'll take it. There we go. Right, that, hopefully, this now should be the last ever ephemera strand I ever need to get. This now should be our anima charged yolk. And my wife is calling me, so I will answer the phone, and then we'll check it out. Back in 2. Alright, sorry, I was back. I took the opportunity to quickly go take a bathroom break and grab a drink as well. So I thought if we take a quick break, we might as well do it properly. The suspense, I just opened one too. Well, hopefully, where is it? Where's our little, here it is, ephemeral orb. There is one thing I need from this. One thing and one thing only. Anima Charge Diolk. Incoming, Streamer Luck. 3, 2, 1. No. Not today. Stupid spiked proto mesh and accelerating tendons. Nerves fire at an accelerated rate, increasing movement speed by 10% and haste for 5%. Great. Excellent. Never lucky. Never lucky. Well, it's something to do tomorrow then, isn't it? Something to do tomorrow. What else have we got over here then? Let's take a little bit of a look. Oh, I was thinking. Oh, Huracan. Maybe let's head over to Moldraxxus real quick. As real quick allows me to. I want to see because I've got the jellyfish mount and I've done it once already. But apparently you're able to get the lure once a week. Now I'm wondering if you can only do it once a week on the character that you did the thing with in the first place, or whether having access to one lure a week is an account-wide thing. It's probably not, because otherwise that would allow people to cheese it a little bit more than I think Blizzard would probably want. But let's head over to Moldraxxus. Let's go to the vendor. Is it Vash? I think it's Vash, isn't it, the vendor? I mean, if it is on a per character basis, I can always log on to my character that I did it on. No, hang on. Flight path. Who's stolen me flight path? This way.
And now, after so long, there is much we need to say to one another.
I know, sisters.
What's going on over here?
Judgment
Oh,
comes.
okay, maybe next time. Oops. Right, we can close this account. I don't need this one. Once we've got Zereth Mortis pretty much ticked over, or basically, you know, as complete can be, without aggressive levels of farming for certain things, then I might, you know, step it back one zone at a time. I mean, you can see here even we're in Moldraxxus now. Why is this showing Ardenweld? Okay, maybe this shows all of the. Oh no, now it's changed to Moldraxxus. There's probably, I mean, I'm less than 60% complete in less than 70% complete in Moldraxxus even. So why is it claiming there to be conduits that I don't own? How's that a thing? How can that? Oh, because they're the Venthyr and Kyrian ones for a hunter. Can I tell it to not show shit like that? Because that's not stuff that really counts, does it? Or does it? Do people think that? I don't think those counts. Okay, there's some pets I still need out here. I've not collected a single one of the battle pets apparently in Moldraxxus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Emissary boxes. Actually, there was an emissary box I had to collect, wasn't there? No, apparently not. We're not even close. Not even close. Anyway, let's head down this way.
It seems the area surrounding our necropolis has been affected by caustic substances. Time to gather some samples.
Right, where's Vash? Down here somewhere, I think, right? If I remember correctly. Down here or up there? Here we go. Baroness Vash. Are you gonna... Okay. It appears I have to do it on the character that I did it on primarily then. Okay. Well, I guess we can do that. I can guess we can do that. Let's send this hunter back over then. So I did it on my Taran Mill Hunter, you say? My Taran Mill Hunter. Why did I choose to do it on my Taran Mill Hunter? Oh, I did it on my Taran Mill Hunter because it was cheaper to buy all the components on Taran Mill than it was on Sylvanas. That would be why I did it on this dude. Now I vaguely remember. For somebody who's very poor and doesn't have max rank legendary recipes, would you recommend following your How to Build a Gold Making Machine series? Yes, definitely. One thing I don't cover so much in that little series is the farming aspect of it. Mainly because you just the what to farm is going to be different for everybody, but the logic behind it is the same. That you want to. I think I recommend in that series just a druid, herbalism mining druid. Spend a few hours going out collecting things, and once you've got enough gold to start crafting, then that series does, I think, a reasonable job of sort of giving you a bit of a blueprint to follow with how to make a bit of gold. Obviously, you got to take from it, you know, that was mostly done in patch 9.1, so a lot of what I was talking about is not really as relevant in patch 9.2. But the theory is the same, that, you know, you want to start crafting some of the catch-up gear, keep that listed, make some profits from that, use the profits that you make from that to invest into other things. Build it up slowly. And you wanted to do it with people from the stream and there was more people on the Horde side. Well, that's also always true as well, isn't it? So, is our Hearthstone set to Haven? Where is our Hearthstone? Garrison Hearthstone. Hello? Who stole my Hearthstone? Heart of the Forest? Oh, that's really not what we want. Well, let's set the Hearthstone to Haven.
I am not here for your amusement.
And let's fly over to Moldraxxus then, I guess. Been kind of stalled out at around 150k, needing to start funding my game time and such. Yeah, you want to... The value I generally recommend differs depending on what stage we are in the expansion. Farming's pretty good going at the moment though. I would imagine that on most realms, even, you know, today, farming can still get you somewhere in the range of about 30k an hour, I'd imagine, without too much difficulties.
Keep
How, you know, because crafting is good and all. Crafting is good and all, but crafting comes into its own when you can, you know, craft and sell basically everything. But of course, having enough gold to craft everything in the first place is why you need to spend a bit of time farming to start with. Because if you don't have... Gold makes more gold, but to get gold in the first place, you have to invest your time to go out and get it. And, you know, farming's just a guaranteed way. If you enjoy farming, you can farm whatever you like, but if you're doing it for the purpose of making gold, you probably want to focus on Shadowlands materials, and you want to focus on whatever your realm is struggling to supply. But that could be very different depending where you play. Also depends just how quickly you want, to see results. The reason I recommend Shadowlands materials is because you can farm them and sell them the same day. There'll be no problem selling them. It means you see the fruits of your labor nice and quickly. A lot of people sort of will suggest, other things to farm. Past expansion materials, transmog, this sort of stuff. But you don't see the gold very quickly when you do that. It often takes a long time to sell the things that you farmed up. Even if they, at face value, they're worth more. It takes a lot longer to sell them, so pros and cons. Right, this character, though, should be able to speak to Vash, and should... I need another lure. There we go. Apparently I can do this once a week. Apparently once a week I can come back here and get a lure. Do I still need the 3 items, though? Surely not. No. No, collect the lure from Vash is the last part of it. So I should now just be able to go to Huracan and do some fishing, right? I guess that's the case. Let's put together a little group then. It's the 3 items you need to get the lure. Okay. I couldn't remember which order it was. That's also a shoot. Let's actually make sure that the rare's up first before we... Because I might need to realm hop somewhere else. I might need somebody else to set up the group and then invite me. But boys and girls, if you play Horde and you do not have your jellyfish mount and you cannot be bothered to fish for it and you're too cheap to pay for it, here's your opportunity. Here's your opportunity. See, there's somebody here doing some fishing already. Let's put together a little group. Mantheus, jellyfish. Yeah, sure. List group. If you want in on your jellyfish, or even if it's just the chance for the Allurid Lattice or Transmog or whatever. I'll give any of you guys the opportunity to jump in to begin with, and then we'll open it up to the public after. Are you Alliance? No, this is Horde. This is Horde, war mode off. It'll be interesting, because in a few months, that won't matter. Although this is not instant content, actually, so this sort of stuff is still going to be restricted. Still going to be restricted. Nobody for the jellyfish. The second I rename the group to be Huracan Have Lure, then I imagine it will get flooded with people. So I'd like to give you guys an opportunity to get in the group first. But yes, Horde, come get your jellyfish mount, or chance at your jellyfish mount. There's Haley. gosh. Let's rename it to... What should we rename it to? Hirukan. We have le. Now watch the now watch it flood. Now watch it flood. Let's let you guys in nice and quick. Right, attach lure. Lure is attached. Where's the pool? Where's the pool? And where's me fishing keybind? Is that the pool? A lurid cluster here. Let's get this nice and full. Incoming jellyfish. Get out of the way, Druid. You're all flappy. Oh, what? Let's try again. I can't see the pissing bobber. Here's the jellyfish. There he is. Pew pewing, boys and girls. Good luck, everybody. Good luck. Guy's getting zerged. It's not going to last 5 seconds. Right, let's see if anybody gets it. Is anybody going to be lucky today? Lots of Genesis motes. Lots of stuff. Doesn't look like anybody's got it. I would have absolutely wet myself if I got it twice. Not today. Not today. We'll come back and we'll do it again next week, though. Thanks for 10 rep. That's hey, 10 rep is rep, right? There we go. What I should probably do now is let's just fly this dude back to. Let's just leave this guy logged out over in Moldraxxus. Leave him logged out in Moldraxxus, then we can go and log on once a week. Give people a chance. Let's leave him over this way. I'm assuming it's not possible to realm hop and refish him up like multiple times. That's one thing I hadn't thought about. Is it feasible to realm hop like a mad person for as long as you have this and summon him on multiple servers? Is that... You only get the lure once a week? Yeah, you do. You get a freebie once a week. It's probably possible as long as you've got the buff. I could in theory. I mean, I guess if we're going to test it, now's the time to test it, isn't it, I suppose? Let me see if I can hop to another realm where he's up. Because if it's I mean, one thing that might be a thing is if it's a 15-minute buff and we can summon him 2 or 3 times, it allows people to log on to their ults and get multiple chances, I guess. I hadn't thought about that. Let's test it. Probably as long as you got the buff. Yeah. Maybe if I... Yeah, let's test. Let's find out. Oh, hang on. War mode off, need lure. Lurid cluster here. Let's just see if we can spawn him. Is that awoken him? Hey, that's awoken him, look. Oh, it does work. Oh, well, there we go. That's what we'll do then. I mean, I can't control the group, I suppose, but I guess what I can do is I can help as many people to get it as possible. Nice, you can do it a few times, you get all the loot except the reputation. That's true. I don't think there's a... I need his... Huracan's Radiant Reach is the only thing apparently I need. Apart from not standing in these stupid swirlies. That's this group. The smart thing to probably do is that this... Yeah, I'm quite sure this is that group. The person needs to delist the group. If I plan this a little bit more effectively, just join any ZM rare group on general type summoning, maybe. I've got 7 minutes, I suppose. ZM rares that are not up today. I'll just pick any group. Corthia, Corthia, Corthia. Why is everybody pissing about in Corthia? Unbelievable. Rare farming, war mode off. Hello, people. He's just gonna chill here then? This dude's got no chill. I'm back and he's still here. Manthe, did your wife leave you alone for a weekend? She's been at her parents' place for a while. She's dog sitting at her parents' place. Her parents have gone on holiday.
Let's make sweet, sweet
So
profit together.
She's looking after
Hey.
their dogs. Hey, she's looking after their dogs, and I've stayed at home to look after our dogs. She's not back for like another week or something though. I have the place to myself. This is why my schedule's a bit wackadoodle right now, since since I'm left to my own devices. Right, I've got 4 minutes to summon him again. See if I can find one more group. Hero up need lure. You're not gonna let me in? Where's the pool? It's there. That's probably not in, is it? There we go. There's another jellyfish on his way. Goblin pie at your place, let's go. Let's go. Thank you very much, Quicksand, by the way. Appreciate the sub. 7 months. Thank you, thank you. Greatly appreciate it. I mean, I technically don't even need to kill him. I could just dip and find another group, I suppose. I've only got 2. This is the last time I'll do it this week, though. I've only got 2 minutes left. That's it's a handy to know though that I can spawn him multiple times. I've got 15 minutes to spawn him as many times as I can. Why am I looking in the group? It's not my responsibility. I'm the lure master. I come with the goods. Somebody else does the organisation. What is the 15-minute buff you talk about? It's the lure, the allurid lure buff that you need to spawn this dude. You have to fish up the goop, and you have to do a bunch of stuff. Right, well that's me done for today then on Huracan Mount. Did anybody get it? Oh, somebody got it. Nimbus from Blackmore got it. Banabule from Twisting Nether got one. Haley got the Protoflora Harvester offhand. GG. We got a few people a mount today then. There we go. There's our community service done for the week. I could send this dude all the way back to Mondraxis, but I can't be bothered. I'm going to leave him here. Log him out. Log him out. Alrighty then. I can't remember what I was doing before I decided to do that. We were messing about with all the things, weren't we? Yeah, we were unlucky with our ephemera orbs. We were messing about with all the things. There's not much more I can do in Zereth Mortis today, I don't think. Outside of, like I said, just gross levels of Genesis moat farming, which I don't particularly want to do on stream. It's not good streaming content. Okay, is there anything else we actually need and we could go and get? We've not had much luck with the traversing the spheres today. What's this? A Poco-pocalypse. Use Poco-poc to take over 100 wildlife automa in Zereth Mortis. Oh god. That one's going to be gross. I just need to remember to click on things when I go past them then. Okay. We still need one thing from the Forge Tap. This is basically the same as traversing the spheres. We are not Night Fae, so we don't have access to the Armadillo or the Brutosaur, which... well, we need the cash to get 2 staves, which actually we can only get those if we happen to be survival spec'd, which we're not. We're not exalted yet, so we can't get enlightened broker supplies. What do we ultimately need from this, though? There's Dark Shawl of the Enlightened, a Ray Soul, there's a schematic for the Russet Buffonid, Sphere of Enlightened Cognation. What in the world is that? Is that a toy? That sounds like a toy. Is that a toy? It is a toy. Gaze deeply into the orb while sitting, pondering its secrets. 10-minute cooldown. Okay. One day. I mean, it's gonna take us long enough to get to Exalted. Never mind another 10,000 rep on top of Exalted. All right. About solo players in tier sets, the Cypher gear cannot be turned into tier, but Sandsworn Relic gear can. Yeah, that's what I've seen so far. This is why I'm kind of stockpiling on my Sandsworn Relics. How many have I got now? 729. That's technically only enough for a couple of pieces, but I'm not buying the pieces until it becomes a thing. Because I'll want to obviously buy the pieces that I need to fill the gaps, if that makes sense. So I'm just keeping the Sandsworn Relics for now. The Paragon boxes for that rep are going to be horrible. They are, yeah. I hope they at some point decide, right, you know, enough time has passed. Now let's make it so that, you know, the rep is not quite as gross. I mean, 55 days of daily quests to hit Exalted, I think is too much. The fact that you get reputation from the raid, though, is kind of another thing, which kind of should push it forward a little bit. I don't know. Do a 15 key a week and you'll be good for tier. Probably. That means I need to do a 15 key, though. That's something that's not happening. I can't be doing Mythic Plus. Too much like hard work. If there's 4 people out there that have a rare spare spot and want to carry me for free, then sure. But outside of streamer benefits, I'm not going to bother doing Mythic Plus. Protoform synthesis is where we're severely lacking on Zereth Mortis. All the things, which we knew that was going to be a thing. There's still 4 schematics we need. I don't think these are... Oh, the more adapted Raptora one. This is one we can actually work on. This is the one that you get... This is the rare drop from these dudes up here, isn't it? From the more sworn hulks. We were killing a bunch of those a while ago. Cash in on those benefits. Hey, it's got to be some benefits, right? How you doing, Gumdrops? Welcome in. Hope you're having a good weekend. Sandsworn's bind on pickup plus 15 is a bit difficult solo. Yeah, I don't think I'm quite up to soloing plus 15s, if I'm going to be honest. Not quite. Not quite. I mean, I know I've got outrageous skills, but not quite. Collecting the glimmers is something I don't really plan to do because I'll just buy the pets. That's one thing I should probably do, actually, is take a little bit of a look and see how much these pets are going for. Let's load up. If I'm going to buy the pets, I'm going to buy them on the cheap realm, which I imagine is going to be Taran Mill. So let's see how much these pets are on Taran Mill. A good time to farm the schematic. The helpful world quest is up in the sands. Oh, that's true. I wonder if the hulks are something that you can farm in a raid, or whether you have to do them in a group. We did them for an hour or so in a group at one point. Spent 2 million on 2 mythic plate BOEs to turn them into tier for my alt for myself, or just to sell for gold cap if your prediction of people buying these when the catalyst is turned on becomes true. I'm not entirely sure they will go for gold cap, but I mean the fact that it'll be, you know, there'll be a lot of people all of a sudden that will start looking at them. As they'll be like, ooh, I can buy this and turn it into tier. Now, a mythic BOE is valuable to begin with, but a mythic tier BOE, now we're talking. Now that's got value to it. I don't know how many people will have caught onto that already, though. What's the damage on the BOEs right now? I mean, they're not ludicrously expensive. Shoulders. 6 pairs of shoulders. 700k a pop. These will, in theory, get turned into tier. Or will be able to be turned into tier. Legs. They're not as expensive as I expected them to be honest. I wasn't here to look at BOEs though. We weren't here to start ogling at mythic level raid BOEs. We should probably pay. I was here to look at the pets, wasn't I? They might go up in price into. Oh, very possibly, very possibly. As time goes by, supply goes up too. More people are farming mythic. It becomes risky. Oh yeah. I mean, buying and selling raid BOEs is always risky. Because you're constantly fighting the fact that there's going to be more of them available every week. Every week that goes past, there's going to be more and more of them available. There's more and more people kill the bosses. There's more and more people that get it on farm. Yeah, absolutely. I certainly wouldn't be buying raid BOEs now and trying to save them in case they go up in price. You should still only be going by the theory of buy it if you think it's cheap enough to make it worth your while. Like, can I buy this today and sell it again today? And you should actively be looking at doing that where possible. Because, I mean, there's 3 pairs of these. I mean, these are probably... This is a scenario where you could chance it. You could throw 500,000 gold at this. Try and flip it round for 1 million. Is there somebody out there that would pay 1 million for a pair of 278 gloves? Probably. There's an opportunity there. But based on the fact that the average price of these is about 600,000-700,000, yeah, you never know. There's only 4 of them. Capes, though. considering the back can be used by like literally everybody, maybe, I mean, you could go, if you really wanted to, I reckon you could go hard on this. 3 of these, buy 3 of these for 1 million gold. 1.5 mil, 2.5 million gold to buy out all of the capes. 2.5 mil to buy them all. Relist 1 at 2.5 mil. See if you get a snag on it. You know, if you this is the thing with the raid BOEs. What you really want to try and do, obviously buying 1 and reselling 1 is great and all, but the real big balls, big goblin way to deal with this is to buy them all, and then to reset them. Because even, you know, even this one, for example, 850,000 gold. Do you reckon you could get more than 850,000 gold for it? Possibly. You want to find one that's cheap and one where there's a couple of them. But yeah, I've not really got into the raid BOE flipping. Mainly for the fact that it's considerably easier and less risky to deal with legendaries. But you know, if you got the money to do it, there's actually loads of things here that could be. Yeah, I really don't want to get distracted in buying these things. What I was trying to do though is look at the value of the pets, wasn't I? What pets do we need? We need loads of pets. So let's just search for the archetype ones. Archetype of something or other. Archetype of something. Wow, these are dead cheap. Some of these are stupid cheap. I mean, I don't even stop to think if one of these is under 10k.
Goodbye.
Just the time it takes to farm up the flipping moats for these. Yeah. All bought. Let's go grab those. Well, there's a bunch of them to start with. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wonderful. Wonderful. What's the button to refresh this? Shift and something, I think. Shift and click. It might not register that I've learned them now. What about checking on the other servers you play on? Might find cheaper pets. Yeah, I already am. I'm already looking on the realm where I've A, got money to burn, and B, got the likelihood of I might have to do a reload actually on the whole thing for them to register that I've gathered them. Opening the profession windows should update it. That's probably true, actually, yeah. I mean, if I can get those pets for like less than 20k, then I'd like I said, I literally don't even think about it if they're that price. Insta buy. Right, where's the pets at? Where's the pets at? No, it still says 5 out of 28. I might need to go and... what I might need to do is actually go and look at the pet thing over here. Because then it'll register that they've been learnt. Because there's no way I'm going to make these myself. No way I'm going to make these myself. The archetype ones, for example, 300 motes, 300 motes, 300 motes. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to farm up motes to make pets. It's not happening. Auction house done for today. Now let's see if I can kill the heroic jailer. Hey, good luck on that one. Get him down. Get him down. Those might be some good multi-realm flips. Pets, yeah, definitely. I think that there's an option there. Which ones did I just learn? Archetype of multiple, archetype of focus, animation, discovery, and motion. Oh, because they're pets. It's not. Oh, and it does say collected 1 out of 3 now, actually. Does that mean that this is updated? Oh, battle pets, 5 out of 28. Oh, it has updated them. Oh, I'm a dumb. Oh, I'm a dumb. Okay, it did actually recognise them. That's fine. Right. Okay. Let's do a bit of a comparison between the two then. What do we still need? We need an Ambistan data. This thing, 50k. Regional sale average, 50k. I mean, sure. Do I set a limit on how much I pay for these? I don't know. Do I care? No, I don't think so. Archetype of cunning. Hang on, we can search for all of those in one time, can't we? Archetype of cunning. Cunning is at 60k. Oh, this is the snaky one, isn't it? This is expensive because it's the snaky one. All right, sure. Malice. Malice isn't even there. Damn. All right. Metamorphosis. 22k. Region sale average is 32. Sure. We need prediction. Predition. $60k. Region sale average 55. Okay, these are a bit more expensive than normal, but sure, whatever. Good thing I've got money to burn, right? Renewal. Renewal. 70k. This isn't oh, but it's level 25. Oh, I'll give him a break if it's level 25. Saves me leveling it, right? I'll give him a break. I'll give him some juice for having leveling it for me. Satisfaction. There's no real difference between these. This is expensive, but whatever. Serenity. Serenity, 50k. Loads of these ones. There's a 25 one there for 48k. Well, if it's pre-leveled, sure. If you're going to pre-level it and price it the same as the rest of them. Alrighty. Survival and then vigilance. Survival's not... Oh, survival is there. Cheap one. Bit of a shopping spree here. Vigilance. That one. Right, that's all of the archetype ones. They're arguably the cheap ones as well. Or in theory, they're the cheap ones long term. They're probably not cheap. I mean, I could probably get these cheaper in the future, but I'm doing it now. So, no, not cancelled. Go away. All bought. Don't battle pets have breeds? There may be some difference between them if you need peak efficiency in battles. Probably, but I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less. Wonderful. Wonderful. There we go. Look. 14 to 28 now. Now we're on to the ones that are likely to actually be expensive. The ones that I might actually shop around a bit for. The reason some of them are likely to be expensive is because these are also the ones that require you to actually go out and get the schematic. Which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but it's enough to make them a bit rarer. So the Fierce Scarabid.
I am just the thing for you.
Fierce Scarabid. Oh, that's still only 60k. That's the same price as the others. That's fine. And it's pre-leveled for me. How about that? How about that? 60k pre-leveled. Why not? Leaping Leopard. Leaping Leopard. 100k for a Leaping Leopard. This is what I mean. I expected these ones to be a little bit more expensive. Is there not an achievement to make them all? Normally there is. There's an achievement to make 50, I think. Which, if we're going to go for the achievement, we'll probably... Yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening. 100k I think is quite expensive for these. The regional sale average is 60. Yet, do I want to pay 100k for a pet? I mean, it's pre-leveled, and I'm stupid, so sure. Micro something or other. Oh, does this one not exist? Microlicid? This one doesn't exist on Taran Mill, apparently. Alright, sure. Multi-chicken. Hang on. Helps if I could spell. Multi-chicken. 50k, 40k for multi-chicken. Something core. Omnipotent core. This one. 130. Oh, they're taking the piss now. These are getting expensive. Somebody's lucky day though, right? You've taken the time to level it to 25, and by time I mean you've probably just thrown a stone at it. Well, I'll make your day. We're going on a spending spree today. Proto-tickles. Proto-tickles, 50k. Go on then, there's only 2. Resonant Echo. 100k again. Oh, 100k and it's not even leveled. Oh, I'm being scammed. Being scammed. Shelly. Ooh, level 25. Go on then. Geomental. Stabilized Geomental. Would have liked a leveled one, but not always possible. Terra Jelly. Terra Jelly. 155. Now I think you really are taking the piss. Now I think you really are taking the piss. Is this one actually expensive for a reason? Fuck. I'm being scammed here. I'm being scammed. I sense I'm being scammed. Terra Jelly, Tunneling Vombarter. What? Somebody saw me coming. Somebody saw me coming. We are not dropping this sort of money on this thing. Why is this so expensive? Yeah, we're not. We'll hang fire on that one. Stream sniper on action. Tunneling von Barter can wait. Violent Poultrid. Okay, there isn't any of those either. Oh, hang on. Yeah, there's none of those. And a Viperid Menace. Viperid Menace. Go on then. Right, there we go. That I think that's enough spent for now, right? I think that's enough spent for now. I think we've just gone and dropped probably $1.5 million, maybe 2 mil on pets. I think that's plenty enough. But it gets a bunch of them off my list.
That item is still recharging.
What do you mean that item is still recharging? Catch up. Let's go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, look at it. Look at all of the progress. Look at all of the progress. So there's actually now only 1, 2, 3, 4 battle pets we still need. Well, that's alright then. There's a lot less to keep our eyes on in regards to price on these things. 0 for the drops I need for my twink today. Well, this is fun. You need some of that streamer luck. I'll share some with you next time. Right. Well, that's done bits on our all the things completion rate. Because the way that all the things works is it counts it counts these multiple times. It's counting them in multiple different places. So when you get one, it actually ticks like 3 or 4 boxes. Set it as favorites for the ones you miss. I could do, but I'll just keep an eye on them separately. But that's done. That's done plenty for me. Now there's a lot of stuff that's that I specifically need to be in like stupid survival spec to get it, which is annoying. I need to remember to not only kill these bosses, but also then to kill them. Yeah, see, it's showing staffs and pole arms, which technically are things I can collect and can use, but this is like an intellect pole arm. I can't that's an intellect staff. I can't actually get that to drop for me on this character. This is the problem. Well, yeah, I need to remember to switch to the survival loot spec and then kill the boss. And then kill the rare. Can I tell it to stop showing the staffs? Because I can't physically get those to drop for me anyway. So... staves. Oh, it's got pole arms separate. But there are agility staves that I can collect. So it kind of feels a bit cheaty. I don't know. Get out of here. Pole arms, bows, crossbows, guns. They're the things a hunter can actually properly use. Right, that trims the fat on my list quite nicely. Now, what I don't know, things like these soul shapes, I can't collect these unless I'm Night Fae, and I'm not Night Fae. Is there a way? Oh, hang on, here we go. Is this going to enable this settings to forcibly show Night Fae even if it's not available for the current character? Oh, we'll turn those off then, because I'm a Necrolord Hunter. Now, I see, the problem is I don't know, from a collection point of view, what do I really care about? I don't know. I care about whatever I can collect based upon the current... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about turning that one off. I almost feel as if I should be switching to Night Fae to collect the things I need, just because I can. But, all right. I don't want to cheese it too much. But even that out the way, we're getting remarkably good amount of completion on Zereth Mortis now. Did you see how much gold the world first guilds have spent on progress? Saw a video somewhere where somebody speculated that they could be persuaded to hire goblins to help. The K-Chak put a video out yesterday, I believe, talking about it in a bit of detail. Yeah, the guilds have spent like just disgusting amounts of gold on the race to world first. The concern I have is that most of it was debt. You know, they didn't have most of the gold to be able to do it in the first place. And this is kind of the weird thing, I reckon, for those top guilds. That they then have to spend, you know, the next couple of months boosting characters to pay back their debts. Which just feels weird. There doesn't seem to be a single world first guild that actually just has the gold, you know, to pay for the stuff that they need. They seem to always be catching, you know, chasing their tail in terms of the fact that, you know, they borrow a bunch of gold to buy a bunch of stuff. They borrow it all and then spend the rest of the patch, you know, getting back to zero. Not since Gallywix closed. But the thing is I would also, well, you know, if you're Echo or if you're, you know, if you're Limit or Method or, you know, one of these big guilds, top 10 guild, if you're a top 10 guild, you're not going to have any problem, you know, filling your boost spots. Because you've got your dedicated guild Discord and you'll have a public section and there'll be people, you know, that there is no problems for them filling their rosters for boosting, even with the boosting changes in place. They don't see, they're not the guilds that need to spam trade chat to advertise boosts in the first place. They never had any problem doing that to begin with, so they only need to boost for 1 to 3 weeks depending on the amount of buyers, from what I've heard from their math. But that's the top 5, yeah. Now imagine they had a dozen goblins on their rosters on a dozen realms. Well, this is a thing, right? This is a thing. Is there a spot nowadays in a top raiding guild for, you know, an economy goblin? Is there room for that nowadays? And I reckon, I mean, there kind of always has been. But I reckon there probably more so than ever nowadays is room for somebody that manages the gold in the guild, you know. Echo has Magicus. Well, yeah, exactly. This is it. There's definitely room for, like, what would the goblin get out of it, though? Yeah, but the argument is what does the goblin get out of making all the gold in the first place? There's no difference there. There's no difference there. If anything, the goblin gets the same out of it than the players do. You got to remember, these top guilds, if you play for one of these top guilds nowadays, in many cases, they're salary-based positions. It's a job. These big guilds, they are businesses. You think how much... I mean, Echo and Limit, I'm sure they made disgusting amounts off ad revenue for the race to world first. But, you know, they had to pay for all of their players to get places. They have to pay for hotels. They pay for, you know, catering for 4 weeks or however long it was that they were, you know, away. The production teams, literally teams, is, you know, for as many players as there are in these guilds now, there's probably 2 people behind the scenes for every single player that sits on their roster. If you total up everybody that's involved with this sort of stuff, adding 1 extra player to the mix, you know, a goblin to the mix, is something that I would be highly, I think would be highly advantageous to some of these guilds, if for no other reason than if it limits their ability to have to boost so aggressively at the back end of each raid. I'm sure, you know, that would be music to their ears in some regards. I remember back in vanilla we carried somebody from time to time who gave us flasks. It's a different scale, right? It's a different scale nowadays. It's crazy. It's a real different scale. Would that be RMT though? No, I don't think so. No. The thing is though, there's not really much that a guild is able to do to generate gold outside of boosting. This is kind of the thing, right? There's not really much that a guild can do, because their advantage is that they're an incredibly organized team of people who can, you know, power through high levels of content with significantly less difficulty than most. That's their advantage. You know, there's probably not anything a guild is able to do to contribute to have it, you know, I don't know. Is there any benefit that a guild could offer to try and get a few people with max legendary professions on multiple realms to, I don't know. There's literally, I think, like the crafting and the general gold making side of things, there's probably not much to it. Can't see. Oh, exactly. You're not going to see these guys cancel scanning flasks. It's not going to happen, is it? That's not a thing. The only thing that you might find is that these, yeah, I don't know. They could do. These guilds could have. They could do with having a magicus on the books. If every guild could have a magicus on the books, then I'm sure they'd happily have it, as it gives them access to like gold in multiple places. But how do they do cross-realm boosting now? Well, cross-realm boosting is still perfectly acceptable. The boosting ban was a ban on advertising and ban on deliberate communities built around boosting. It's in guilds doing it, absolutely fine. The only problem they have with cross-realm boosting nowadays is how is it paid for? The purpose of the community previously was that it didn't matter which realm the gold was on. That was kind of the point of the community. It's much harder for a guild to then do that, because then a guild has all their money spread out across all the different realms. But if you're a top raiding guild, that becomes an advantage to you again when it comes to a new raid and all of a sudden you want to buy a BOE on that realm. Do you have gold on that realm already? Yes or no? So actually, it doesn't, you know, they don't pool all of their gold in the guild bank, but they'll have guild representatives all over the place with just gold caps kicking about. American guilds reached out to Dirty Irby and Hickons for these kind of loan deals. Dirty Irby, I know, has definitely worked with BDGG, I think. Well, he might have done this patch, I'm not sure, but definitely 9.1, I think he crafted all their legendaries for them. But that was more of a, you know, oh, we know this one guy that has access to every single legendary recipe. Can we just, you know, send him a shopping list and pay him 20% kind of thing, which is what happened, I think. But equally, I would also imagine if they're aware of people that have, like, they probably don't care so much about goblins that have tens of millions of gold, but I'm sure they're quite interested in building a relationship with the goblins that have hundreds of millions of gold, because then they can turn to those goblins and knowing full well that they might be able to, you know, borrow 50 mil, and also then they've got a good chance of having that gold on the realms where they need it. That's kind of the thing. They probably don't necessarily need a goblin on the books per se, but they probably like to be very aware of who are the rich players out there, and are they willing to loan gold for a you know, for a percentage. Healer and Echo, who said he spent 6 million of his own gold on the race to top all of the free stuff from the guild. Yeah, probably. It's kind of funny to me to see just how the not only the expenditure has exploded, but also how the expenditure is being allocated. It used to be that the expense for raiding was your consumables. You'd spend hundreds of thousands of gold on consumables, and that was the expense. Nowadays, consumables is like a tiny fraction of the cost. Gear trading and BOEs are the two big, you know, expenditures for these guilds now. Splits, yeah, splits are one of the most expensive things that they can do. They are physically paying players to come in their raid. And these top guilds now were paying people just to be there, just for the chance of something to drop. They were being paid to be there. If an item dropped, and if it was a good item, they'd get more and even more. This is where the expense comes in. Now, there's only probably 10 guilds in the world that can actually run splits. So this is the thing, right? It's a real top level thing.
Have anything ancient to trade? Needs to be at least 2 centuries old.
Animated leash? How do I not have one of these? I occasionally just log on to the auction house and will buy any pets that I don't own. Because, you know, if you've got gold, why not? Winter Spring Cub? How do I not have these things? Can't you just buy this from a vendor? You literally go to a vendor and buy this for 50 gold. But the fact that I'm too lazy to go to the vendor and buy it for 50 gold. Emotional damage. This is how you do collecting, people. It's far easier and quicker to make the gold and then buy the things you need than it is to go and collect the things you need. Far easier. Far, far, far easier. Ooh, level 25. Did I just buy the grumpling? How do I not have this? Surely. I'm not entirely sure whether my game is telling the truth here. This is why I shouldn't stream on a Sunday. This is why I shouldn't stream on a Sunday. Today's been an expensive day. Actually, let's get rid of this stuff. We don't need this in here. Oh, you ran away with your long boy. I was using your vendor.
Patience, patience.
That'll do.
I will await your return.
Poco Pop can use the costume. There we go. They also have a monopoly on boosting for a while, as only few guilds are even capable of doing those boosts. But see, yeah, this is it. It's six of one, half a dozen of another. Not being able to sort of shout about it too publicly is definitely a problem. But I don't think that these big guilds had a problem selling their boost spots in the first place. I genuinely think that these big guilds probably end up with a queue of people, more so than anything else. I don't think these guilds really have much of an issue filling their boost spots. And now the fact that it's harder for everybody else to sell their boosts, it's probably actually much easier for them to boost now than it was before. This noise is going to go off a million times, I apologise. Shall I just do them quickly? Oh, I can't even do them quickly. Right, it's going to be lots of noises, I'm sorry. Oh! What is this? Raiding with leashes? Pets of Pandaria? We got ourselves an achievement. What was that? Collect all of the battle pets listed below from Mogashon Vaults, Terrace of the Endless Springs, in the Heart of Fear. Haha! Cool. Alright. Fine. I'm sorry. There we go. That's everything. That's everything. All the heroic split helpers can give the gold right back by just buying mythic boosts. Well, see, this is the thing. This was one thing about the boosting community generally. The boosting community, it was just a bit of a circle jerk with a lot of the gold, right? People would boost to make a bunch of gold to then spend all that gold buying boosts for their alts. So it was kind of like, well, sure, you've ended up with lots of gear and lots of leveled alts, but you're not any richer than you once were. It all just, you know, just goes round in a big circle. Your shopping spree has convinced me to buy that 80,000 gold dagger that I'll never use for transmog. ATT addict here. Old world BOE prices suck. Yeah, they do. Luckily, I don't really care about transmog. If I cared about transmog and was an all the things addict, that would be bad news. That would be a bad day in the office. I don't even think even I would have the gold to fulfill that addiction. But luckily, luckily, I don't really give two hoots about the transmog side of the collecting. The pets, the mounts, the toys, that sort of stuff, I will go for. Equally, not because I use them, but just because I don't know. I don't know why. I don't think anybody that truly collects things, especially through all the things, can really explain why they do it. But because it doesn't mean shit at the end of the day. But it's good fun. If you're going to make all this gold, you might as well spend it on something. So that we have done. That we have done. We've progressed nicely today with Zereth Mortis. If we... No, that's not the right button. We are up to 85% in Zereth Mortis now. The last 10% is the worst for any of these because you're literally chipping away at low drop chance, dumb level stuff. What about rares? Is there any significant rare that we can get anything from? How in the world do I not have the bow from Akaris yet? Surely, is Akaris up today? This is because you can you not get? Yeah, maybe I'll do a quick world tour of rares, just see what we can get. Do a quick world tour of rares. Yep, treasure box, yoink. Who's first on our list? Let's go. We'll go clockwise. Let's go up north. That rares up actually. Do you reckon we can get there fast enough? Do you reckon we can speedy our way over there? What's this button doing here? Oh, now it's gone. Oh, hang on. It's gone 5 o'clock, hasn't it? It's gone 5 o'clock. I was wondering why my dog was complaining. She's complaining that it's gone dinner time and I've not fed her. I'm a bad human. Dogs are not meant to be able to tell the time though, but my god, my dog can definitely tell the time. 1 minute past 5 o'clock and she's like, I'm hungry. I've not been fed since the morning. I'm going to die. Oh, well, somebody just killed the pissing wasp. Alright, well, thanks for that. Alright, well, actually, based upon the fact that it's 5 o'clock, I need to go feed my dogs and I should probably take them out for a walk as well. I might call it there for today, boys and girls. I'll go feed the dogs, feed myself, see if I can occupy myself for this evening. We should be back tomorrow, though. We should be back tomorrow. It's technically Monday tomorrow, so we're back. I will try. No guarantees here, but I'll try and keep things to somewhat of a normal schedule next week. I can't guarantee anything because it does depend how I feel. The wife is away at the moment, which means I'm responsible for all of the house-related stuff. And adulting takes time and effort. So we'll see how things go. But thank you all for joining today. I hope you had fun. I hope a few people learned something. Hope I was able to entertain you for a few hours on this Sunday afternoon nonetheless. Enjoy the rest of your day, boys and girls. Have fun. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Peace.